quadruple charge. To me, next season we can win the quadruple. People might not laugh. The quadruple. Absolutely, listen. And the reason why I say that is because for Leicester to win the league, that means anything can happen.
Trophies are Arsenal going to win this season, and which ones?
We're going to win 2. We're going to win the FA Cup and the Premier League.
Up the Gunners!
Dominant in the Premier League, and the FA Cup we always seem to win.
The best team in England. We're in the league, we're in the Champions League, we're in the FA Cup, and whatever the Milk Cup's called these days. We're going to do a lot. We're going to do all 4 of them, pals. At least 2.
I think that Arsenal is going to do well in the Champions League. In the Champions League and the Premier League. This is the time to go to get the trophy.
They will win the Champions League, the Premier League, and the FA Cup.
We're going to win them all, mate. Every single one of them. Champions League, Premier League, League Cup, FA Cup. Done. FA Cup, Premier League, and Champions League. And why? Best team in the land.
Well, all you Ladbroke fans and everybody else who support the Arsenal, we're not in the mix anymore. We are sailing across with something special this year.
Welcome back from Milan to Northside LDN. Today, Arsenal 3, Inter 1. And yeah, man, the good form in the Champions League continues. Jesus, man of the match. Gyökeres. I don't want to hear no excuses anymore from this manager. Now you know exactly what kind of way that we need to play to get Gyökeres in the game. But let's start off with Jesus, man of the match. Man of the match, took his goals really, really well. Really, really, really well. And even the first goal, Eze with a direct ball into Jesus, 1-2 for Moreno. Then Timber with a shot, and then Jesus just taps it in nice and easy. And Jesus was putting himself about, linking up play, got his goal. He got a goal as well from a set piece, from a corner, whipped in by Saka. Trossard with a header across the goal. And Jesus heads it in. And he had a very, very good performance. Very good performance today from Jesus. And fair enough. You know, I'm not ever against players putting in good performances and getting praise. And big up to Jesus. He turned up today in a game that we didn't have to win, but you always want to put in a performance and you always want to go for the win. So big up to Jesus, man. I'm very happy with Jesus's performance today and much deserved. Brace and man of the match. Trossard today as well, defensively put in a shift as well, got himself about, got us a couple of free kicks, and had a decent game as well. But Saka, I'm sorry, we're going to have to talk about Saka because the amount of opportunities today that Saka just squandered, the amount of times he went through on goal, taking way too long to release the shot. The crossing as well was abysmal from Saka. There was one good cross that he put on a plate. But other than that, the crossing was poor, man. I'll be real. I weren't happy with Saka's performance. You know, Jesus played well. Trossard played well. Saka was poor, man. Saka was poor. I'm sorry. I'm expecting a lot more. You know what I mean? He should have at least got a goal today, Saka. Let's just be real. Big up Lee for the raid and everyone that's joined from Lee's stream. But I needed more from Saka today. You know what I mean? The final ball was poor. The shooting was very poor. Threw on goal, taking way too long to set the shot. Then when he did shoot, it's straight at the goalkeeper. Very frustrating from Saka today. I'll be honest, I don't think he had a good game at all. Got himself into some good positions, but being a bit selfish today as well, not crossing the ball. There was times where Gyökeres is like, yo, you know, pass me the ball. It's a simple tapping, not crossing it, not passing the ball. If you're going to be selfish, then you have to bury those opportunities. There's another one where he cut in on his left and he absolutely skied it. And it's like, bro, there was another one where Saka had the ball and Jesus made the run and he's through on goal. Saka's just being selfish, takes the shot and the shot goes wide. If he would have played Jesus through, Jesus is through on goal. 1v1 with the goalkeeper. Should have done better, man. I'll be real. Saka, come on, bro. You just got a new contract. There's basic passes there, movement that you need to be releasing. See your runner. Stop being so selfish all the time. And if you're going to take your opportunity, you got to bury it. Let's just be honest. You have to be burying those opportunities. But all in all, like I said, Jesus, much deserved man of the match, and Trossard put a performance. The midfield today, I'm happy with the result, but the midfield today, my God, I never want to see Zubimendi and Moreno in that midfield together at the same time. Bro, it was horrendous. And let's be real, let's be honest, We won that game, much deserved. We were the better team. But how many opportunities you're looking at thinking, yo, Inter should have buried that. Inter had another opportunity there. Inter should have put us to bed or at least got back into the game. Yeah, I mean, Martinez and Thuram holding up the ball, long balls into Martinez, getting space and time in the box, Thuram getting space and time in the box. And it was all because of the midfield wasn't helping and protecting our back line. Let's be real. They weren't protecting our back line. And that's exactly why they were getting through our midfield and counter-attacking and getting into good positions in our box time after time. We're very lucky that Thuram just can't finish. Martinez was very frustrating for them as well. But that Sukic guy, he was getting a lot of joy as well in the midfield, a lot of space outside the box. And that's what led to us conceding that goal. You know what I mean? Through ball to Thuram. We got absolutely cut through when Thuram got that through ball. Falls to that Sukic guy, the midfielder for Inter. Zubamendi taking way too long to close down his man outside the box. Sukic was actually quite late to get to the ball. And he just put it top corner. You know what I mean? Just put it top corner, put it top bins, and that made it 1-1. And that was poor from us. But there was time and time again, you know what I'm saying? Time and time again that we was getting opened up. Let's be honest about it. We got the win. It was a good performance all in all. But that midfield, you can see that. This is why I say if anything happens to Declan Rice, God forbid, defensively, this midfield is very sus. I've been telling man that Zubamendi cannot hold it down defensively in that midfield. Neither can Moreno. Zubamendi positionally was very poor today. Very poor. The passes, he was keeping it going, trying to, keep it going, trying to do the little number 8 role and just keeping the ball rolling and keeping us in possession. But defensively, where was he, bro? Where was he? I never saw him closing down Martinez. I never saw him closing down Thuram. I never saw him closing down that Sukic guy as well. I never saw it. I never saw defensively. I didn't see a performance from Zubamendi today. Very poor. Moreno as well, giving away the ball. Defensively all over the place as well. Wasn't good from them too defensively. This is why I was getting put under pressure. I actually think Mosquera did well to shield off Thuram and Martinez. And Saliba did his thing as well. A couple of good clearances from Saliba as well. But defensively, we wasn't good. And that was down to the midfield. They were just running through our midfield. They weren't using the width. They were playing everything through the middle. And that's because there was no midfielders of ours that was shielding our back line. That's the reality of it. They weren't doing it. Zubamendi and Moreno, neither one of them. At times I saw Zubamendi moving into the number 10 role. It was crazy. And I've been saying this. You know what I mean? Thank God. Listen, at the end of the day, we did enough to put the game to bed. Overall, we was the better team. But we was getting opened up through the middle of the pitch. That midfield battle, we were losing that midfield battle. Let's be real. But like I said, there's quite a few players that I was happy with. But I had to get onto this midfield first and get the negatives out of the way because Zubamendi not good enough. Yeah, I mean, absolutely horrendous defensively. Moreno, absolutely horrendous defensively. Let's just be honest about it. And Eze today, I have tried to defend this guy and say, why is he not getting more minutes? Well, guess what, Eze? Performances like this today is exactly why this manager is going to make you hold bench. As much as we can say you need game time, you need this and you need that, you have to take your opportunities. And today, Eze was absolutely horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. Let's just be real. I didn't see him creating anything. When he come off, he looked frustrated. I didn't see him in the game. I saw him giving away the ball. He started off the game all right. He was actually being direct. He was actually trying to make things happen. He was a big reason why Jesus got his first goal, being direct, taking players on. After that, my God, meu Deus do céu. This guy was absolutely horrendous. I didn't see him in the game. He put a Ødegaard-esque performance today from Eze. Ødegaard-esque performance. Going hiding. I didn't see him linking up with Jesus anymore. I didn't see him trying to bring the wingers into the game. I didn't see him actually impose himself on the game. Yeah, I'm saying it was poor. It was just poor from Eze. I don't remember anything that Eze did or created in this game. He was just a net negative in that midfield. Alongside, to be honest, our whole midfield today was rubbish. I'm just going to keep it honest. Like I said, the players I think that did well, like I said, Jesus did well, Trossard did well. Skelly, I think, did well. Skelly had a good game. I think he did well. Mosquera had a good game. Saliba had a good game. You know what I mean? Timber did his thing. Raya obviously did his thing. But Eze, I'm sorry, not good enough. And I do want to mention Martinelli, because Martinelli has shown exactly how you get the most out of Gyökeres. Something that we've been saying. Now, I've been critical of Gyökeres, and rightfully so, because his opportunity against Nottingham Forest, you got to be burying that. But today, much better from Gyökeres. And what was it? It wasn't spamming crosses in the box. It wasn't trying to get him to header it in. It was what? On the counter-attack, play him the pass quickly. That pass on the counter-attack after they had a free kick, that pass for Martinelli. Big up to Martinelli. Big up to Martinelli. He came off the pitch and did exactly what we needed Eze to do. And that was look for Gyökeres' runs. Look for Gyökeres' runs. You know what I'm saying? That is what we need to unlock this guy. Martinelli with the long ball on the counter. Gyökeres plays it to Saka. Saka absolutely fumbles it. He's just lucky that he fumbled it and it went straight back to Gyökeres. Gyökeres outside the box and slapped it top bins. This is how you get the most out of this kind of profile striker. You have to play those direct balls. You have to catch him when he's making the run in behind the centre back, and he will get you goals. And after that, I saw us playing more through balls to Gyökeres, and he was even trying to link up with Martinelli and trying to get him into the game as well. He had another opportunity where he cut in the box and he lifted the shot. The defender just got a touch to it and it skied over the bar. But you can start seeing his confidence building because he was receiving the ball in areas that he wants to receive it. Center of the pitch on the counter-attack. I don't want to see us, when we play Gyökeres, I don't want to see us now spamming crosses. I don't want to see it. Saka, you need to be less greedy. You need to release that ball. At the end of the day, we brought Gyökeres to the goals. So if you're not going to bury your opportunities, which today you should have got a brace just based on the opportunities you had today, play Gyökeres through. Martinelli got the memo. That's exactly, and it was a great ball as well. Great ball from Martinelli. But pass it to him first time. That finish from Gyökeres there, that's a finisher. That's a striker's finish, bro. That's a goal scorer's finish. He's got one attribute. Utilize it. I want to see this going forward now for the team, from the squad, not just from Saka, but from everyone. Play Gyökeres through early, and you'll get the most out of him, which is the goals, which is the reason that we bought him for in the first place. Overall, like I said, I think the first half was better than the second. I think the second half was a little bit laxy-daisy. I do think Martinelli coming on obviously affected the game. Gyökeres obviously got his goal. Does well for his confidence. We need his goals, especially when we're seeing goals drying up. But Jesus, fair enough. You know what I'm saying? Fair enough. Now, Jesus, we know he can score goals, but we need consistency. We can't have a game you turn up, then you don't turn up for 3 games, then you turn up. We need consistency, bro. Do you know what I mean? And this game does well for Gyökeres. This game does well, goes well for Gyökeres. You know what I mean? It is what it is. There was a shot from Eze that got blocked. Other than that, like I said, I didn't see anything. There was a through ball that caught our defenders out cold when we was playing a high line, and Thuram, he's through on goal. Doesn't even get it on target. He just absolutely skies it. He should have finished that. I'll be real. Thuram should have finished that opportunity. Saka on the counter to Jesus. Doesn't pass it. Takes his shot. It goes wide. Not good enough. DeMarco had 2 shots saved by David Raya. 2 good shots that were saved by David Raya. He should have done a little bit better in that position, but it is what it is. And Inter in the second half had 2 shots that went wide. Rice, played a great ball into Saka, and the shot was straight at the goalkeeper. Just not good enough. But like I said, barring the midfield, we had a good performance. We had a good performance. We caught them out on a lot of opportunities that we could have won this game. We could have won this game 5-1 if we took all our opportunities. Saka had a couple of opportunities, more than 2 opportunities to be fair, to score. But all in all, I'm happy with the performance. All in all, and yeah, it just shows how important Declan Rice is to this midfield and what he brings to this midfield in terms of not exposing that back line time and time again. You just don't get it with Moreno. You don't get it with not as much with Northside. You know what I mean? We already know the quality of Northside. He's not Declan Rice level. You know what I mean? But Zubimendi, like I said before, this guy is he's an 8. He's not a 6, man. Nothing about his game shows that he's a 6. He's an 8. But I'm like I said, I'm happy with the performance. I wanted to see a bit of rotation. We saw some rotation in the squad. Obviously, Eze didn't take his opportunity. It is what it is. Moreno gets introduced into the midfield. I still don't like Moreno in the midfield. I don't like seeing Zubimendi there with somebody that can't defend. Zubimendi needs to be next to a Ødegaard, or he needs to be next to a Declan Rice. He's not going to defend and hold it down by himself. I think Mascara did very well defensively. I think he did very well. Some good last-ditch blocks. He actually showed off Thuram very well, and he put himself about, even though he was getting exposed again and again and again. Skelly had a decent game as well. Somebody that's not been in form all season. So big up to Skelly. And all in all, I'm happy. I'm happy with the performance. You know what I mean? I'm happy with the performance. We already knew that we're through in the Champions League anyway. But it keeps the momentum, especially with Man United around the corner. We needed to gather some momentum after drawing against Nottingham Forest and things looking a bit frustrating. We needed the win. We needed a win. Going up against Man United, that got a lot of confidence after beating Man City. These games, you know, people may say that they're nothing game, but they build confidence. And we need a confident Gyökeres going into that game. We need that. You know what I mean? We need that. So I'm very happy, all in all, with the overall performance. Declan Rice came on. He was decent, did his thing as well, looking for those direct passes. And hopefully we can start playing that and adding that to our game, being more direct, trying to get Gyökeres more into the game. Because when he came on, he impacted the game, not only the goal, but he always looked like a constant threat going forward. So I'm happy about that. Martinelli looked like he was, you know, trying to get himself back into the team as well. I don't think Timber needed to come on off for Ben White. I didn't really understand that substitution. Eze getting taken off, I completely see it. Eze wasn't good enough. For Declan Rice, I wouldn't have brought him on for Declan Rice, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? And yeah, it is what it is, man. It is what it is going forward. I mean, Ethan was on the bench. We could have used him, but he chose to bring on Declan Rice. I would have brought on Ethan for Eze, but it is what it is. He didn't want to. Martin Ødegaard obviously held bench. Surprising that he didn't get any minutes. But then again, fair enough to Arteta. You know what I mean? Fair enough. I don't think Ødegaard deserved any minutes today. Ethan could have got a couple of minutes, but I guess maybe he doesn't want to injure him before he goes on loan to Olympique Marseille. So it is what it is. I think going forward, if he's not going to play Rice, then play maybe, you know, Northside and Zubimendi. Put Zubimendi in the 8 and put Northside in the 6 and maybe go like that. You know, Ethan could have got a couple of minutes. Obviously, Kai Havertz, maybe he's managing his minutes because he just come back from injury. I hear it. Gabriel coming on for Mascara. I don't think we had to make that change, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Gabriel came on and done his thing as well. And yeah, Gyökeres coming off. Fair enough to Arteta. It was the right call. 75th minute, bringing on Gyökeres. As soon as he come on, I was hoping that he would get a goal, and he got a goal. So hopefully he pushes on and kicks on from here. I really want Gyökeres to kick on. I thought he would kick on after the Burnley game. Obviously, he got injured in that game. But from now, hopefully he can kick on, man, and we can get more and more goals and performances out of Gyökeres. I'm pleased with how we're doing in the league phase. However, there's certain teams, especially Inter, I'm not confident against in the knockout stages. Like I said, I know we rotated today because we know we're through, but this game really shows that without Rice in that midfield, we look vulnerable. We look vulnerable. Inter had the opportunities today. Let's not go on like they didn't. They had a lot of opportunities and they kept having opportunities through that midfield. So we do need to fix up when it comes to that. We do need to fix up. Some other players need to step up their game. Zubimendi needs to step up his game. Moreno, I just don't see him as a midfielder. I really don't. At times he's getting pressed all the way back towards his box, and I just don't see him having the attributes to play as a midfielder. I'll be real. Making apologies is allowed. This guy taking a piss. Look at this guy. You know what I mean? Let him score me 20 goals a season, then I'll apologize. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Big up, man. Big up, man. Big up, Bav. Big up, Khalid. Yeah, I mean, big up to everyone locked in. Big up Kwaja as well. Saka needs a cooking. Just not been good enough, bro. Just not been good enough. You know what I mean? Very, very frustrating. And then I see Saka throwing tantrums and I'm like, yo, you had at least 3 opportunities today. 3 opportunities today where you're through on goal and you don't bury it, yet you're getting angry with everybody else. I'm seeing Saka's having a little attitude, having a little tiff, and it's like, bro, you're not even doing your job to be angry at anybody else. I'm seeing Gyökeres getting frustrated, asking you to pass the ball. You're not passing him the ball. You're taking every opportunity for yourself. Come on, bro. You need to, Saka needs to look at himself a bit. He keeps looking at everybody else, but you need to look at yourself because it's not been good enough. It's really not been good enough. Honestly, like in any aspect, you know what I mean? He had probably one good cross that I can remember this game. That was about it. You know what I mean? That cross from Saka into Trossard and he just shot it just wide. Cool. Other than that, bro, I didn't see you do enough. So man needs to chill out, bro. I look at his own performance before he starts getting mad at his teammates, bro. You know what I mean? Big up, man. Why won't Saka pass to Glock? I don't know. He just seems frustrated. I've seen it for the last couple of weeks. He just seems frustrated. He seems angry. He seems like, I don't know what's going on with Saka. I don't know. It just seems like he's just frustrated. I don't know if something's going on with his personal life. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, players are human, but he needs to step up, bro. He needs to step up because his performance has not been great, bro. It's not been great. Saka's greedy. Saka could have had 2 assists if Gyökeres had tapped that in. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Completely agree. Saka is selfish. But yeah, man, is seeing what he's doing, bro. You know what I mean? Man, is seeing what he's doing, and it's like, well, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Gyökeres could have scored his 9th Arsenal goal in all comps. Gyökeres scored his 9th Arsenal goal in all comps. Really happy for him. Yeah, man. Hopefully he kicks on, bro. Hendon Guna, big up, bro. Appreciate that, man. Big up, bro. Big up, my G. I mean, Gyökeres literally had to force Saka to assist him, bro. It's mad. It's mad. I don't know what his problem is. I really don't, bro. Like, I don't get it. Like, we've seen every time Saka gets the ball, he's always happy to assist Ødegaard. But then when you got a goal scorer there, you don't want to assist the goal scorer. It makes no sense to me. You know what I mean? Big up North. So many through balls were stuttered and stopped. Sick goal from Glock 14. Yeah, man. Bad boy goal. Bad boy finish, bro. Proper striker's finish. You know what I mean? So big up to him. Big up to him doing his thing. You know what I mean? I remember when guys used to say Saka needs to be more greedy. Bro, the thing is, you just got to be smart as a forward player, innit? If you can see that the striker's got an easy tapping, just pass him the ball. Just passing the ball. If you can see that there's no player there, there's no options, there's no players in the box, cool, then go take your opportunity. No one's going to begrudge you taking the opportunity if there's no runners or if there's no passing option in the box. But when you can see there's the opportunity is there for a tapping, bro, just go for the high chance opportunity. Instead, he's taking mad shots outside the box and they're going wide. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. You know what I mean? Rice and Moreno suspended for the last game. Yeah. Rice got another yellow. I know he's suspended for the next game. So probably Northside will enter into that midfield. Hopefully we can put Skelly in that midfield as well. Going up against Kairat, I'd like to see Skelly actually play in his best position. So give him opportunity. Eze, you're not making a good case for yourself. Horrendous performance from Eze today. Horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. Didn't see this guy. Went absolutely ghost. Man call Ødegaard ghost the guard. Eze today went, and this is the thing. Whether I like a player or not, if you don't perform and you don't give me performances for me to, I'm gonna have to talk about it. We're gonna have to highlight it. We're gonna have to have a conversation because today I cannot defend Eze playing against Man United after this performance. I know Ødegaard wasn't good against Forest, but I can't. You've given me no case to work with to say you deserve to play against Man United. Now, I'd rather go with Eze because I've seen a whole season of Ødegaard and I know what Ødegaard is. And he's a hot and cold player. Some games good, some games crap. Most important games, he doesn't turn up. I'm talking about the big games. So, but Eze right now, you come out and put in a performance like that in the Champions League. I understand Eze didn't play in the Champions League with Crystal Palace, but bro, you're at Arsenal now. You wanted to come to Arsenal, you have to perform. Before this game, I was getting on to Gyökeres saying, yo, you got to get a goal. He got a goal today. He was rubbish against Nottingham Forest, but today he got his goal. He's got his confidence. So if we start Gyökeres, cool. But now we know how we're gonna get the most. We already knew this anyway. We knew this when we first got him. We knew how we needed to play to Gyökeres' strength. So today is just proof of what we've been saying, how you need to utilize Gyökeres and how you're gonna get the most out of him. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Eze, this ain't the way to get back into the team. You know what I mean? Credit where it's due. This was a good win tonight. Yeah. We did our thing today. Yeah, I mean, we did our thing today. Why is Arsenal so hot and cold, though? That's the thing. Why are some games we play well, some games we don't? Why are we so inconsistent with our performances? Yeah, I mean, will we play like this against Man United? Don't know. I've been saying this for a while. I don't know what version of Arsenal we're going to see. Yeah, I mean, big up Marie, man. Big up Prima, man. Big up Marie. Yeah, I'm saying. This big up troubleshooter. Congrats on winning the we finished first in the group stage trophy. Nah, it's no trophy, bro. It's no trophy. You know what I mean? Man's taking the piss. It's no trophy, bro. Yeah, I mean, Saka is washed at the moment. He just seems frustrated. I don't know what's going on with him, bro. He just seems like he's all over the place. I don't think his head's in the game. You see how Skelly moved Barella? Bro, he did his thing. Today. He did well. Yeah, I mean, MLS had a good game. I expect to hear a Jesus apology. Apology for what? The season ain't one game. Yeah, I'm saying the season ain't one game. Score me 20 goals. Win me a title. Then I can give him an apology. Up until then, there's no apologies, bro. This is Northside LDN, bro. We don't give apologies based on one performance, bro, or 2 or 10. You know what I'm saying? You got to put a body of work over here for me to change my mind about a player. So, based on one game, you can do that on AFTV. You can't do that around here. Arteta really turned Eze into a black version of Ødegaard. I think it was both, because I do think Eze needs to take accountability for his own performance as well. I can't put it all on Arteta. You know what I mean? Like, in the 10, he has the ability to dictate the game and actually create us opportunities so that we can actually bury the team. He didn't do that, so I can't say it's because of Arteta. Saka got himself in good position. So did Jesus. So did Trossard at times. But Eze wasn't the guy linking up with the front three. That's on Eze. You know what I mean? I have to be honest about it. That's on Eze. So he needs to step up when it comes to that. He needs to step up, because that's not good enough, bro. Yeah, I mean, he needs to take a look at his own performance. Saka with the accidental assist. Yeah, that Gyökeres word, bro. Saka almost effed that up, bro. He almost effed it up. Martinelli could actually prove useful for overhead balls on the counter to Glock 15. Very nice play. Yeah, but the thing is, we need the other players to understand that as well. So that when they get the ball and Gyökeres is making the run, they understand, you know, what kind of passes Gyökeres wants. And for Martinelli to come on the pitch and do that first time instead of Eze, that's embarrassing. Do you know what I mean? So hopefully Eze can do that. I remember the assist that he got for Martinelli against Bayern. Those are the kind of through balls that Gyökeres thrives off. You know what I mean? If Martinelli played as a striker, he would want those same kind of assist. That's what Martinelli likes. When he makes the run on the counter, he likes them through balls, not them spamming crosses in the box and that kind of. That's not where he thrives. You know what I mean? So hopefully we can continue Eze and Ødegaard understanding that, you know, that's what, you know, Gyökeres wants if we're going to get the most out of him. The only way Saka's is going to assist Gyökeres is like how it bounced off him tonight, bro. Man needs to fix up, man. Man needs to fix up. You know what I mean? He's got his contract now. Now step up. I don't rate Gyökeres, but that was the type of goal he was scoring at Sporting in terms of getting in behind. He's technically horrible, but we just need him scoring. Exactly. And this is what I've been saying the whole time. I don't need him to be a complete striker. All I need him to do is put the ball in the back of the net. That's the reason we bought him. Just put the ball in the back of the net. Yeah, I mean, we didn't bring Gyökeres to link up play with a false nine. We brought him to finish chances. Exactly. We either start giving him the assist that he wants, or we change the formation to a 4-4-2, and we have somebody that can actually cater and, give him those through balls up top and try to do the link up play the same way that Martinez and Thuram kind of played off of each other. If we do that with Gyökeres, we can get a lot out of Gyökeres. Yeah, I mean, because we can have one striker that receives the ball like a Jesus, and then we have somebody that's making the runs and can finish like Gabriel, like Gyökeres. And I think them two playing in a 4-4-2, I think they would actually get the best out of each other in that aspect. So I think that's something that Arteta should look at. Do I think he's going to do that? No. But I think it's a good idea to get the most out of Gyökeres. I think he would suit a 4-4-2 perfectly. I think he would suit it. But let's be real. Arteta likes to play with two DMs, and he'd have to drop one of the DMs if he was going to do that. And I don't think he wants to do that. I think he's more about not conceding than actually scoring goals. To be honest, Jesus is a UCL man. His record in the... All right, cool. Then get us over the line. Get us over the line. Excited to see the rebrand after the season. Come on, you Gunners. You're all well. You're all well for what's to come. What's this here? Goonally hyping up Arteta is pathetic. Bro, let him do what he wants to do, bro. Yeah, I mean, let him do what he wants to do. There's still a lot to play for. There's still a lot of question marks around this team. Let's just be honest. Ødegaard never got minutes because he's starting against Man United. Probably. Maybe. Yeah, I'm saying. Then again, Rice got minutes today. He's starting against Man United. Do you know what I mean? Saliba, Gabriel, they got minutes today. They're starting against Man United. So I don't know. Saka starting against Man United. We already know this. So I don't know how much I believe that. Ødegaard needs to be sold. He's not good enough. Mascara was rushed back. He had to come off. It is what it is. It is what it is. We all know Arteta loves to tell medical team what to do. Just got back from work, bro. I can't handle it. And hate on Tills. Bro, work yourself into a position where you don't have to do it ever again. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Would you swap Saka for Lamine Yamal if it was possible? Of course. Of course I would. Is that even a question? Of course I would. Of course I would. I like Saka, but I don't put Saka on the pedestal that a lot of this fan base do. I think he's a good player. I don't think he's an amazing player. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. It is what it is. I'm glad Glock scored. Saka is frustrated because he's selfish for his goals. You're a winger to provide goals to the striker, and you're not a striker. I don't think he wants to, though. I think maybe he likes being a top goal scorer at Arsenal. Maybe that's something that, he maybe feels some type of way since Gyökeres has got it. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know. Let me guess, this game didn't matter. They had zero pressure, so they won convincingly. Top Gooners will love it. Bro, they'll call you toxic and negative for that. You know what I'm saying? Mandem creating toxicity. I will never give up on my striker because I know his strengths. What a pass from Nelly. That's what he needs. Quick transition passes. When I see him missing sitters, then judge. Listen, I hear it, but at the same time, it gets to a point where you have to step up to the plate, innit? As a striker, you have to step up to the plate. And there has been moments where Gyökeres has missed certain opportunities that he should have at least worked the goalkeeper, and he hasn't. And that's where the frustration from my side anyways come from. I'm not going to I will give up on a player if they don't show me anything. And before, Gyökeres was showing me nothing. And I think his criticism was well deserved. This isn't a young player. This isn't a player learning his trade. It's a player that's supposed to be scoring goals. I get that the system doesn't constantly create opportunities for him, but I see him missing opportunities he should be burying, just like the opportunity against Nottingham Forest. And that's why I gave him criticism, because it's not good enough. You can't be crying and screaming about certain opportunities, and then when you get it in the game, you fumble them. Nah, it works both ways. I can give faith, but man has to give me something to have faith in. And Gyökeres was frustrating me, but big up to him today. He took his opportunity today. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It is what it is. Yo, big up Static, man. You know what I mean? It is what it is, bro. Hey, North, yeah, that's true about Northside. I want to see him play against the Kairat, bro. I don't even care if we play, rest everyone, play fucking the under 21s, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see big rotation against Kairat. Eze has been shocking. He was absolutely horrendous, bro. You know what I mean? Horrendous. But it is what it is, bro. He spent a whole month with no football. The only other option is to play Ødegaard versus United. And we're fools if we do that. All agreed Ødegaard should never start. It is what it is, man. I want to enjoy tonight's result, but if this was a quarter, semi, or final, I think Inter turn it up a level. We beat PSG 2-0 in the qualifying last season. We got slapped in both legs when it mattered. That's facts. That's facts. And that's why over here you don't see us going over the top. You don't see us going over the top. That's facts. That is facts. You know what I mean? But we already know, man. We already know. This squad's biggest question mark is not these kind of games. It's when there's pressure and when you must win and when you have to win. That is what this squad needs to prove us that it's different this season. This squad and this manager, that when the pressure is on, we can get over the line. Until then, we're going to keep questioning if they got the ability to do it. They've let us down too many times. A proper manager would sit Saka down and tell him to look for runners and discipline him by not starting him. But we got Super Mick. I saw him giving Saka high fives at the end of the game. You should be disappointed with his performance. That's what we should be doing. But instead, he's giving him high fives. Yeah, I mean, why don't you play like that in the league? I don't know. I think because today the game was done. I saw Judge Mo's reaction to the goals we scored. He was absolutely fuming, kissing Arsenal's Arsenal season. And now when they beat his supposed Inter team, he's crying. Yeah, he should be celebrating. You know what I mean? These meetings, I swear, apologies over one game. Bro, it's crazy. You know what I mean? Apologize for one or two performances. Why are people so soft? I don't get it. I don't get it. You know what I mean? Big up touchline, man. Big up to everyone that's locked in, man. You know what I mean? Big up to everyone locked in. Apologies for moments, trophies. I'm trying, bro. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. It's like these men think that, you know, how many times have we said Jesus will score you 13 goals in a season? Doesn't mean that's good enough, but man want us to give him a round of applause. I don't really get it. These men are trying to. This is what they do. They try and turn a normal, calm match reaction that we're actually praising a lot of performances. Jesus being man of the match. Now they're trying to turn it into where's your apologies? I remember when they did this with Nketiah. Yeah, I'm saying like we don't know what Jesus is. Yeah, I mean, let's see if Jesus turns up in the semis or the quarters. Yeah, I mean, let's see if he turns up there. Let's see if we hopefully, God willing, we get to a final. Let's see if Jesus turns up there. It's crazy, bro. Yeah, I mean, Saka's girl put him in a cardigan. The guy is stressed, bro. I don't know what she's doing to him, yeah, but she's effing up the process, bro. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Why is there a neutral you in the thumbnail? Because it's whatever, bro. Like this game, wasn't really important. We're already qualified in Champions League. We did our thing. I'm not angry. I'm not over the top happy. Neutral. I'm just calm. You know what I'm saying? I'm just calm, bro. Just calm. Eze played okay, very disciplined. Could have got a goal. That's what Arteta wants, defensive number 10s. Halftime hooks, sorry, half volley. I disagree, bro. I don't think Eze was good today. I really don't. Big up Kwaja, man. I really don't think he was good today. Kwaja, what's your opinion, bro? Half volley seems to think Eze played okay today. I don't think he played well. What would you make of today's performance, bro?
First of all, big up to you. It was a good win. I thought Eze played all right, but I knew that when Eze would come off, he would play three fridges in midfield. I feel like I don't know why he wants to play three fridges in midfield. It doesn't. He did that against Liverpool at Anfield and against City, and it didn't work. He did it against Fulham when we were 1-0 up. He just keeps doing it. It doesn't matter, but you cannot play like that every time. Three fridges in midfield. Mika Marino's not a number 10. Now I keep listening to his press conferences saying he wants to play players that play in their comfortable position. You play Mika Marino in the 10. He's not good in the 10, yet you still play him there. Make it make sense, buddy. Make it make sense. It was a good performance, but there are some players that we need to call out. Saka wasn't great today, I have to admit. I look at Saka in the second half. Why did he not pass the ball to Gyökeres in the second half? He could have put the ball in the box for a tap-in for Gyökeres. He decided to shoot. You can see why he does not like Gyökeres. I don't know what is it, but Gyökeres, when he was celebrating, he just ignored Saka. Fair play to him. He took the shot. He didn't care. He just wanted the goal. But he caught the assist. Yeah, it was a lucky assist. Because if you look at it, right, Gyökeres, that was a fantastic ball from Martinelli to Gyökeres. Gyökeres couldn't shoot, so he passed it to Saka. And unfortunately, the ball hit Saka by accident. I don't think he didn't realize. But then it came back to Gyökeres and he scored. So when you look at it, right, I just don't understand why does this guy get so much of this PR? The PR that this guy gets is crazy. Him and Jude Bellingham get the embarrassing PR. Him and Jude Bellingham get the most embarrassing PR I've ever seen. The English media are a joke, but all in all, it's a good win. But the Man United game's big for us. This game meant nothing really. I mean, we've won. We're already even in the round of 16 anyway. And by the way, Gabriel Jesus got player of the match. I thought he was okay, but yeah, it was a good win. But Man United is the biggest game for us on Sunday. We got to turn up. Could that win tonight give us a big confidence? I don't think so, because I think when you see Ødegaard not playing that game, we played better football. But when you see Ødegaard against Man United, there's no good football. He started against Nottingham Forest. It was boring. I just felt like I just wanted to go to sleep. I just wanted to get my pillow and sleep, say to my parents, good night, I'm off to bed. Can I switch off my lights? Let me take an early nap and wake up at, 9 a.m. That's what I was going to do. But I realized that this is going to happen. But against Man United, don't be surprised when Ødegaard starts, because he will stink the whole game out. I guarantee you. Imagine if we stink out, a 2-1 win with maybe we might play haram ball again, stink out a 2-1 win somehow. With Ødegaard starting the game, I wouldn't care less if we won the game. We needed 3 points. But all in all, I'm happy with the win. But this manager's, it's just these mutants, man, say where the haters and that. Come on, bro. Don't get over gas over one game. One game means nothing. One game is just one game. Move on. Consistently. If he's been doing it consistently, great. But where's the trophies?
I hear it. I think even the 2 games that we faced Villa this season, that's kind of the way we feel about Arsenal. You can get the Arsenal that lost 2-1 against Villa or the Arsenal that won 4-1 against Villa. You don't know what Arsenal's going to turn up. Everybody here, regardless if you're Arteta in or Arteta out, we all know that this team has the ability to play direct football and to score goals. We don't have to rely on set pieces. The manager chooses to rely on set pieces. We know the level that Eze can play, and he thrives in direct football. Today, I have to put it more on Eze today. because I do think we was playing more direct today. I do think we were trying to not just play for set pieces. We were actually creating opportunities, and I didn't think he was influential in any of that. So I feel like certain players, maybe they're a bit confused because sometimes we play for corners and sometimes we play more direct. And I think we need a more consistent brand of football when we're in play, not just playing for set pieces. We already know we're very good at set pieces. You know what I mean? But when you're playing very defensive against Chelsea or being defensive against Sunderland, and then you want to turn it up against, Everton and teams like that, I think it confuses the players a little bit. We don't have a set really. Our identity, let's be real, everybody knows us as Set Piece FC because that's kind of turned into our identity. And with that, you're going to get inconsistencies. And then I think that's what led to the way that we played against Forest. So I think we just need to continue working on that. You know what I mean? The way we play in open play and to get the most out of a lot of our players. Eze likes to play attacking football. Ødegaard likes to play attacking football. That's the best version I've ever seen of Ødegaard, is when we're playing attacking football. Gyökeres wants to play attacking football. Saka is an attacking player, but he needs to be less selfish. That guy there gets away with so many bad performances. It's ridiculous. I bet you the top gooners will not call him out.
No, but they're not going to call him out. They're going to say that, oh, it's overreacting and all this. They're going to say, oh, you're overreacting. Stop overreacting. It's only a few games. It's like Ødegaard. Ødegaard gets mad PR as well. I've seen people, these mutants, they're like, oh, why you be so harsh on Ødegaard? He just came back from an injury. Mate, after the injury last season, he's been shit. He's still shit. He's one of the worst footballers I've ever seen at this club. And some people still overhype him. What is this overhype that these people get? Stop overhyping up Ødegaard. There's a reason why Real Madrid sold him. This mad comments that these guys talk about Ødegaard. Bro, Ødegaard is going to get bullied by Kobe Mainu in midfield. Like, you're going to have Kobe Mainu in midfield. Come on, bro. Kobe Mainu against Ødegaard. Ødegaard got bullied by Elliot Anderson, and he's going to get bullied again. Like, he's weak. Like, he's not physical enough. Rice is in midfield next to two average players, Zubidou and our captain Ødegaard, who just doesn't know what to do. Like, the amount of mad PR that Ødegaard Saka get is crazy. I don't know why these top gooners want to back Saka and all this stuff. Let's just all admit Northside. Let's just admit Saka is overrated. He's overrated. Let's not do all this Saka haters. He hasn't been great this season. Let's just all admit, top gooners, mutants, Saka and Ødegaard, Zubamendi, they're all overrated, overhyped. Don't ever say to me that, oh, they're world class. They're not world class. Apparently, Zubamendi's now the next Superman, Supermandy from Martin Keown. Where is that, Martin? Martin Keown, where are you? Where's the Superman Zubamendi? Where's that? He was terrible today against Inter. This guy got bullied in midfield. And that's what happens when you put Zubamendi in the six. He just crumbles like that, like a deck of cards. Just can't handle the pressure. I guarantee if he plays the six in the game against on Sunday, imagine Declan Rice trying to carry the ball forward. He's going to be out of position. Who's going to help Zubamendi? He's going to have to do it by himself. Imagine Bruno Fernandes counter-attacking. What's he going to do? He's just going to fold like that. Like, this is the reason why we need someone next to Zubamendi, because he can't do it. Tonight, he couldn't do it. Mikel Merino wasn't great, really, in midfield. And I'm glad to see Mikel Merino and Rice getting the yellow cards because they don't have to play. I'm glad that Declan did the right thing, getting a yellow card. Fair play to him. That means that Lego Head wouldn't have to play him. Yeah, I'm happy with that. But all in all, I don't care about the Milan game, really. The Man United game is big. That's all big. If you look at this Manchester City team, they haven't been great. If we can't win this league title with a Manchester City team, that's not really they've been inconsistent. I know we've been, but they've been consistent as well. If we can't win this league title, then we're never going to win it.
Not under this coach. Not under this coach. I hear it, bro. I hear it. I think we look at certain deficiencies. We've been calling out Zubamendi all season. You know, gave him maybe a couple of games because he just came to the club. Think, okay, cool. Then I started seeing the way he's getting dominated in the midfield. Declan Rice getting very frustrated by it. And I'm like, yeah. I called it a couple of weeks ago. I said, yo, if anything happens to Rice, our season's done. Because for all the great defense that we have today, when you think back to the opportunities created by Inter, there were opportunities you expected them to score more than one goal, which means if our midfield is not up for it, we are very exposed. And I know we had Mascara there, but at the same time, that's near enough the defense that we play. I know that Mascara doesn't start. It's between Lewis Skelly and Calafiori, but we were still going to get opened up even if he started Calafiori in this game because the midfield wasn't protecting our back line. And it just shows how important, you know, Partey was to this team and Declan Rice improving and being that leader in the midfield in terms of winning the ball back and shielding the back line. We got opened up a couple of times this game, like quite a few times. And it's just, we're walking away saying, yeah, it's a great performance. But all in all, it wasn't a great defensive performance because we was getting opened up. And I blame it, like I said, I put it more on the midfield. How many times have we said, I don't want to see Moreno in this midfield? His worst performances have always been when he's in the midfield. If Moreno's not starting up front, I don't want to see him in a team because I don't see another position for him. The midfield, he just can't do the job. He's not creative enough to be an 8, and he's not defensively aware enough to be a 6. And Zubimendi, we've been saying he's more of an 8 than he is a 6. I don't see any attributes here for him to hold it down. And even you know what the worst thing is about Zubimendi? It's his positioning. I see this guy floating everywhere. I'm like, bro, if you're playing a 6, all I need my 6 to do a very boring job. You're literally in between the two centre backs and you literally sit there. You get the ball, you recycle the ball to somebody that can actually transition, and then you remain in that position. I don't need you drifting to the 10. I don't need you drifting into the 8. I don't need you pushing too high. He's not a 6 in anything, not in ability and not in mentality. He doesn't have the discipline to play that position. To play the DM, you have to be very disciplined and hold down that position. He doesn't have it. So for me, I just don't understand why the manager persists with him in the 6. I don't understand what Arteta's seeing because I'm not seeing it. And I have no problem praising players that I'm not the most fond of. I actually want Zubimendi to succeed here because we got rid of Partey. I want him to succeed. I want Moreno to succeed. I want Jesus to succeed, but I need to have constant performances, and I don't get constant performances from these 3. Moreno get more performances as a striker. Zubimendi's playing out position, and Jesus is inconsistent. I just don't think at his age, what you see is what you get. When Jesus looks good, he looks very good. But how many games do you have of Jesus where he plays like he did today? How many games do we get out of this? And that's the thing. So when people are asking me, oh, what you saying about Jesus now, make your apology for what? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Normski, long time. What you saying, man? You good?
Yeah, man. Listen, bro. You're enjoying Spain, as I can see.
Bro. The last 2 days, bro. Last 2-3 days, the weather's been trash.
You're burning the candles at both ends, bro. Calm down. Calm it down. No, big up to you. Listen, I thought, you know what? Let me just jump on and just say hi. Big up Kwaja, man, every time. The Perez, you know what I mean?
I'll be in your chat. Don't worry, bro. I'm gonna be in the chat.
Yeah, no, I'll big up to you every time, man. Still, but yeah, I'm listening to you. Yeah, the game. To be honest, I did my match reaction earlier on, and I said, yeah, a nice professional win away at the San Siro, and it was actually quite nice. First half, say 20-25 minutes, you know, we was moving the ball really quick, which was really nice to see. And this is one thing that really frustrates me, and I don't understand about aside is that why can't we do that? You know, like in the Premier League, why is it that we leave it for these games? You know what I mean? Because if we play like that, then control the game, we win most of our games. But it's like we start our games slow, and then we're trying to control it. Then we get to a situation where, you know, we're trying to defend a 1-goal lead, and then we allow pressure to come onto us, and then next thing you know, we end up drawing the game. Do you know what I mean? We just look back at the Nottingham Forest game. You look at that, you know, it's like night and day in terms of how we played today. you know what I mean? I was pleased, you know, Gorka's getting his goal, even though it was a lucky assist from Saka, but a well taken goal. Feed the Glock and he will score. I was watching you earlier on today, and you were sort of saying, boy, you know, it's time. I'm tapping out on this guy, you know. And fair play. Listen, he's a striker that's come from Sporting Lisbon, and when you see the way he's scoring goals over there, you have for the striker that you are, you have to try and adapt. But it takes two. I always say it takes two to tango. So in the sense that, you know, Arteta has to also try and play to his strengths, you know what I mean? Because his all-round footballing ability, we can see, you know, he's not that good. Do you know what I mean? His first touch is not good. As a matter of fact, he's very much like a championship player, you know, when you watch the way he plays. So, but it was a well taken goal. You know, Jesus gets his brace, one from a header set piece, and he gets an instinctive striker's goal, which was good. But it was just nice to see them play. And then the second half, what we tried to do, especially like when we conceded a goal, which was a bad goal to concede. I don't know why Zubimendi was turning his back on the goal. You got to face up and try and block that shot. He literally turns his back on them. And you could see Saliba, because Saliba was saying, go to him. And he's just turned his back. And, you know, they've scored a goal. And sometimes, look, on the transition, you see Inter Milan. Listen, they've got quite a good record at home. But you see them on the transition. If they had a better striker, because tonight they were very wasteful. I know we've been linked with that Torum guy. Mate, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? The man thinks he's playing rugby. You know what I mean, Northside? The man thinks he's playing rugby. You know what I mean? Scoring a conversion. Do you know what I mean? So, look, at the end of the day, it was a professional win. I'm pleased about it. Yeah. Man United is going to be a different proposition. You know, you got Eric, you know, bringing back that kind of Man United DNA. Whether it's going to last or not, I don't know. If we take the game to Man United and play our football and impose ourselves on them, rather than going into that game trying not to lose it, then we will beat them. But if we go into the game with the same mentality that we go into other games, then we're going to get this inconsistency. And that's why we sit here with PTSD, because we don't know, we can't go into a game confident enough to know that we're going to go in and beat teams, you know, because it's like, I'm not too sure. I don't know what team is going to turn up today. So today, you know, we've got away. He's got his record now with 7 out of 7, 21 points, 18 goals and that, so he's happy with that. So I think Miles Lewis-Skelly spoke about it tonight in his the post-match. They spoke to him. He was saying, yeah, that was another target that we needed to tick off. So, you know, that's something that the manager's pushing. Do you know what I'm saying? We qualified already, so, you know what I mean? And it looks like we're going to actually win the league stages. We got Kai at home in the next one. He rests everybody. Declan Rice gets his yellow card. Fantastic. So we ain't going to see him in there. Play all your youngsters, win the game, and then we move. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, see how the rest of the season pans out. But, you know, at the moment, you know, 7 points clear. Man City at the moment are going for a little bit of a dip, but they will find their form soon. I mean, I was quite surprised seeing them getting slapped by Bodo Glimt today. That was kind of crazy. But let's not like look at that and think, oh, you know, they're finished. Do you know what I was going to say? You know, we have to do our business, take care of business. You know, we go, you know, for the rest of the season. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, all in all, a professional win, and yeah, we move, as they say.
No, I agree. I think the only thing, I think this manager's going to look at it and think, well, if he was here, sat next to us right now, I wouldn't question it. Yeah. I think he would say, well, looks like I'm going to be top of the table in Champions League. We're still top of the table in the Prem. I think this is why he's adamant to change. I think a lot of times when he does things, he's very, very adamant to change until the end of the season. Even when we started the season and we had we had like 3 DMs in the midfield, he didn't even like getting questioned about that. No. And it's only because we dropped points to Liverpool and Man City that the pressure was on, like, yo, what are we doing? What is this? You know what I mean? Why is Eze holding bench? Yeah. So I feel like until it really costs him, I don't see the manager changing. Even when he came out and said he'd like to play a 4-4-2, I think Arteta is very frightened. You know, I think even this season, this season's even in his interviews, I've never heard Arteta so as much as this season continuously talk about trophies. I think he knows that it's getting to the point where you have to be winning trophies. And I think he'd be a bit. I think he's going to be a bit hesitant. I think that's why sometimes he allows us to play football and sometimes he doesn't. Yeah, I think sometimes he allows it, sometimes he doesn't. He's kind of waiting to see how games go to then apply. Okay, we can play attacking football. Like his substitutions against Bayern or the way we played against Atletico. You know, if the game's not really going right, cool. We'll bring on certain players. We'll go a bit more direct, throw the kitchen sink at it. But for the most part, we'll keep it tight. We'll keep it defensively structured, and we'll see if we can get a 1-0 or 2-1 and just go away from the game like that and not really open up too much. I think that's what he thinks. But at the same time, I just think, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I see inconsistencies from this team. Like Nottingham Forest, I felt like we created opportunities, but the players aren't used to playing like that week in, week out. And most of the time, he's actually shouting at them to do the reverse. Like I saw him today shouting at Lewis Skelly, get back. And then I started seeing him shouting at him, go forward. And it's like, what do you want? Like,
and then for the player, is that level of confusion. I think sometimes you just got to allow the player. Once you got some managers, once you tell them what you need to do on the pitch, they just go and sit down and rest themselves. Yeah. But whilst he's there trying to conduct planes and land planes and all that, it can sometimes get confusing. You know what I'm trying to say? I think sometimes you just got to just allow the players that, that level that they can do it. And I think sometimes when you look at those games, you wonder, like the Inter Milan game, the Bayern Munich game and the Atletico Madrid game, because they came out a totally different side second half. It might have been an instruction, but we don't know because we're not a fly on the wall to know that. But one thing we do know is that the type of football that we do play, majority, I mean, a lot of the times when we open up the scoring, it's either going to be from a mad own goal or from a set piece. So, and then at that point now is whether you go for it. I mean, if we had the attack of the 22 season, that kind of attack, and you've got the defense of this season, and you combine it together, where you blitz teams in the first 20, 25 minutes, and then you can control the game, there's no problem. Because then what you then do is you suffocate their teams, and if they do win it back, you can just hit them on the break. But what we're doing is we're going in from the offset. It's like we're playing like a training ground game. You know what I mean? Pass. When you used to watch Arsenal get the ball from back to front and get it in the back of the net within 10, 12 seconds. It takes that long for Raya to get the ball out, to your back three. And you know what they're going to do. You know how easy it is. Curtis Shaw said it the other day. He's got links in, Nottingham Forest, where he said that when Timber was playing on the left-hand side, they saw Austin Odoi over there, because he knew he was having problems in the last game. And then what he also said was that was too predictable because he knows what's going to happen. We're going to recycle the ball on the right-hand side. Saka's going to float it over, and their defenders are just going to head it all day long. Do you know what I mean? And plus, when they keep talking about, this, low block, that Arsenal always face a low block. The reason why we face a low block, right, is that we play far too slow. So the team will always get back in their position, in their defensive positions. And then what we then do is we play in front of them. And then we're trying to go down the wings. But what we do, we only play one side, overload on one side, which is often not the right-hand side, which is Saka. And then that's where it then gets recycled. So the ball goes out to Saka. And because he can't beat his player, because of loss of pace and all of that, and what he's going to do, he's going to try and cut back on his left foot. And the amount of touches he has to try and get a shot off, or if he can't do that, he's going to then lay it back to Ødegaard. And then the whole process starts again. So for me, Arsenal are probably one of the most predictable sides in the league right now. Probably they play one of the most slowest. I mean, look, Wolves get slapped up every week. I mean, they're on a little bit of a form. But I'd rather watch Wolves because I just love their pattern of play. Our football from defence out is just slow. And I think you said it tonight, Northside, where you said that, or if it wasn't you, it was somebody else, where we bypassed the midfield. When we moved the ball, we was bypassing the midfield. So we wasn't going through the midfield because our midfield weren't really on it. You know what I mean? Moreno just spent half the time on the floor. Do you know what I mean? Zubimendi, do you know what I mean? Even though it's a Champions League game, he didn't have his best game tonight. And there was no need to bring Rice on. Rest Rice. Why do you need to bring on Northside? But the thing is that what we did do was we bypassed the midfield, got the ball up and transitioned really quick. And then it was like the last third, and then was able to move the ball quick. You get your goal, fantastic. And we was doing that. And we was on the front foot. Do you know what I'm saying? But defensively, our defense did got out tonight. You know, Mascara had an okay game, but he's very much like Ankipe and Gabriel, where they just smother the player. And a decent player that can turn and spin them, you know what I mean? I was getting a little bit worried that Torum was going to do that. But as I said, he was really wasteful tonight. So I wasn't really that worried. But a better side, we would have probably watched.
No, I hear that, man. I hear that. Eze today, for me, shocking, man. Really shocking. He's really not building a case for himself to get back into this team. What did you make of Eze?
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you. I was on the phone with my mate, and I was just willing him to just do okay and just try and impose. I think it's more about him imposing himself on the game, and he doesn't seem to do that. He's got quite a lazy language style about him. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I mean, Phil Walcott made a point to say that okay, he if he had played his own game, it would have probably been quite exposed. So he tried to stick as close and to the tactics that Arteta want, but that's not really his game. So he's kind of playing within himself, and it just doesn't. I don't know. It just doesn't seem to impose himself in the game. Get to the ball really quick, close down. He looks really a little bit sluggish, and so because of that, you know full well. I mean, even when he got dragged, I would have kept him on just to keep him, you know, get his confidence in that, because you know, come Super Sunday, you know who's going to be in that midfield. That's Ødegaard. And the thing about it, whilst Ødegaard was on the pitch, like, we did move the ball a lot quicker. When Ødegaard is on the pitch, we move the ball too slow. He slows the game right down. So we know for a fact that Ødegaard will start on Sunday. Eze will hold bench, but he hasn't done enough. Even with him having a better GA than Ødegaard over, you know, I think he's played one game more, but that's coming off the bench. I think he's had 17 in the Prem, Ødegaard, Ødegaard is 16 in the Prem, and Eze's had 17, but he's got like I think 6 GA or something like that, because he scored 4 goals for an hat-trick against Crystal Palace. Then he's got a couple of assists. But yeah, he needs. I don't know what it is. I don't know whether this is the right side for him. It's unfortunate that we're speaking like this. But does Arteta play to his strengths? Because a lot of the times, if you're gonna shoot on Havertz or shoot on Ødegaard into your system, because he plays a rigid system of 4-3-3, Eze is gonna go and play. He's gonna play him out left, and at the moment, Trossard is playing well there. So he ain't going to get a look in there. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, he really didn't really impose himself again tonight. I think he got the lowest rating on One Football. I think he got like a 3.7, followed by Moreno. You know what I mean? Even the score, yeah. So, yeah, it's unfortunate because all the big circus around him coming in and, you know, him coming back to his boyhood club. And then, you know, this is what we're seeing, and I think he sits there. Either he has to change, or if not, because especially his England career. I mean, in terms of, you know, it's the World Cup year. Is Tuchel going to be looking at this and thinking, well, you're not featuring much, and what's they thinking in his head? You know, I mean, a couple of times he's come out after the game. You see him talking to people, opposition players, or even his own. He says he's probably saying that this manager just has got a clue, or he doesn't like me, or whatever. So I don't know, mate. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, he hasn't done it. The unfortunate thing is that he hasn't done enough to what's his name, Ødegaard. And the fact is that if Ødegaard is playing really bad, I think Ødegaard has played 2 good games in all the time that he's played for Arsenal this season. So it just tells you then that Eze then is not really doing it. Do you know what I mean? Even though he got a hat-trick against Tottenham and a goal against his old club, but it seems like he doesn't fancy him. Mikel Arteta doesn't fancy him, and probably didn't even want him in the first place. So yeah, and now Ethan Smith Rowe now, he's going to Marseille, so I'm really glad for that. Would I've liked to have seen him in the Premier League? Maybe, Brentford, maybe a Brentford, Bournemouth, one of them teams could have done with him. But he's going to Marseille, so he's going on to a coach that plays attacking football, very demanding. So probably keep an eye on him and see how he gets on over there. But he's going to have to come back. And if this manager is still here, it could be just much of the same old. Do you know what I mean? Much of the same old.
No, I hear it. I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like I said, I think we've gotten to a point where we know that this team can get to this position in the Champions League, the same in the league. It's all about when the pressure's on. It's all about when the pressure's on with this team.
I didn't feel there was pressure on tonight. It's crazy. I didn't feel there was, and I think because I think it was one of those games where he made 7 changes. He knows in his back of his mind, even if he goes there and gets a draw, that he's probably going to end up winning and topping it. If not topping it, coming second. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But I think he's got that record in his mind. I want to finish top. Look, fair play. He's gone over there and done the business. But I think that they were playing with less pressure. So I think if it was a pressurized game, then we probably would have seen a totally different game. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man. We'll see, man. We'll see. Especially that we're going up against Man United. Yeah. And they've got, obviously, they're buzzing. You know what I mean? Their local rivals. You know what I mean? Getting the win against Man City, and it was convincing as well. It wasn't even
very convincing. I mean, they had the ball in the back of the net. Was it 3 times? You know what I mean? So they could have won that game 5. You know what I mean? I mean, look, they were quite fortunate with Dalot not getting that red card. It might have been a different game, but sometimes it's just the way things pan out. You know what I mean? But what they did do is didn't show them, Man City, any respect. Literally we're closing it down. And Jack Carragher did a little thing on Monday Night Football when he was just showing the way Dorgu and I can't remember the other player was coming in narrow, stopping like any balls coming into the centre, and that seemed to work. And then every time Man United won the ball and counter-attacked on them, or counter-pressed them, when you press Man City, they don't look good. You know what I mean? If you give them the time on the ball, they're gonna outpass you. And so Man United just took the game to them. And it was like looking at the old Man United of days gone by. But it's whether they can keep that and be consistent with that, you know what I mean? Because as I say, I couldn't care less about Man United. Do you know what I mean? But we got a big game Sunday, and we need to go into that game. And I think if we play our game that I want to see us play, which is fast, frenetic football, which knowing Mikel Arteta, I don't think that's the route he's going to go down. I think he's just going to go into that game, try and control it, and maybe get a goal from a set piece. Do you know what I mean? That's the only little worry for me. Do you know what I mean? But I think you should just go in, impose yourself on them, put the game to bed early, and then Man United would then have to try and come out, and then we can hit them on the break. Do you know what I mean? But yeah.
No, I hear it. I feel like up against the way Man United play, he's going to go pragmatic again. It's going to go back.
Yeah. 100. Yeah, which is a shame. You know what I mean? This is a shame. And that's why, and as I said, this game, the Bayern Munich game, the Bayern Munich game and the Atletico Madrid game, that's the football that you want to see, but I want to see it consistently over 90 minutes, not one half. That's the only thing. Again, we only tend to play one half of football or moment, 25 to 30 minutes of football, and then we revert back to type. And that's only in the Champions League. Very rarely do you see that in the Premier League, apart from that second half against Aston Villa. You could probably say Leeds. I mean, maybe we'll probably count on one hand, like decent games that we've seen, and the rest have just really like falling asleep watching paint dry. That's literally what it's been for the past 22 games.
No, I hear it. What do you make of Ethan? Obviously, Ethan going out on loan. He was on the bench today, but he's been confirmed that he's going out on loan to Marseille. What would you make of that move? Good move for you?
Yeah, I think he needs it because I just think a year wasted sitting on the bench. Sometimes he's not even in the squad, so I think he needs to get out there and get some minutes in his legs. Hopefully, when he does go to Marseille, I think it's a good side where he's going down to Deserby. You know what I mean? As I said, he plays attacking football. So for me, I think it's a good move. Would have probably liked to have seen him in the Premier League in maybe one of the Brentford, maybe or Bournemouth or whatever, because we can keep a much closer eye on him. But he needed to go, and I think it was inevitable that it was going to happen because he was just getting less and less. I mean, I think he's made, I don't know if it's 3 to 6 appearances. You know what I mean? And that's coming off the bench. I don't even know how many starts. I don't know how many starts he's had. I mean, if he has any, I don't think he has had any starts in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? And then you've got Kai Havertz coming back from a 5-month layoff, coming in straight into the side, and even being omitted from the squad. So that can't be good for his confidence. So I think it's important that he goes and plays his football. He's 18. Do you know what I mean? And when he has performed to us especially last season, when you had Saka out and you had Ødegaard out as well, when he did come in, he did perform. You know what I mean? But I just feel that he's been really treated bad. And so it's best for all parties that he does go out and get some football in his legs.
No, I hear it. I think we could have used him.
Yeah, we could. But yeah, because it's because we haven't bought anybody. So, in terms of, I mean, I looked at the bench tonight. I mean, obviously barring Ethan. I mean, in terms of so I'm not even too sure if Kai Havertz is actually fully fit because he didn't come on. You got Kai, you got Noddy, you got Martinelli, and that's it in terms of your attack and Martin Ødegaard. So you're losing Ethan, but we're not replacing him. Obviously, what's his name? The guy that's injured, Darman. I don't know when he's going to be back. So if he when he is back, he'll probably come back into the team. So to just keep our numbers up. But yeah, I think he needed to go out on loan.
I hear it.
I see him. He doesn't trust him, and why mess about with his, his mental health and everything. I just think just let him go out and play. I'd rather see him go out and play. And yeah, look, just in the chat, what Noddy Nandino saying is that Ethan is better than Ødegaard and Madueke. Yeah, definitely. I think he's more talented, definitely. Madueke, 20 in all Premier League, I think. If you combine Chelsea and the Premier League that he's played this season, 20 plus games, no assists, no goals. It's a guy that has no end product. And Ødegaard only has 3 assists and 1 goal. And he's meant to be our creative spark. But Arteta loves him. So that's what it is, isn't it? You know what I mean? If Arteta has got his boys and the people that he trusts, he ain't gonna move them out for nobody. Do you know what I mean? And once Kai Havertz is fit, I just hope that Victor finds more form, and that will just kind of put more pressure on Kai Havertz. But I can see once he's fully fit, then he's going to come into the squad.
Yeah, he definitely does Havertz, man. That's his guy.
That's his guy.
That's his guy. So Jesus was the one that we were looking at, and he was looking to move on. Same with Trossard and Martinelli. So I don't really think that those are his guys. Jesus used to be his guy.
Used to be. Man is trying to swank another contract. You know what I mean? But decided he's going to bring it up in the press conference. Yeah, I'd love to play for this and win more trophies. How many times we heard that? That trophy. 200. What you would go up to £290,000. That's a nice trophy. I wouldn't mind that trophy. You know what I mean? But who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what's going to happen come the summer? But he will definitely be keeping the likes of Havertz, Ødegaard, and that. And for a team, if we do end up winning it, the Premier League, my worry is that when we go into next season, it's going to be really difficult to defend his title because all the other teams are going to definitely improve. They're going to be buying players to improve. Man United. The problem is that we're going to have the same set players that we had in this season, and I don't see any more improvement unless we get a new manager in, which that ain't going to happen because he's going to get another season. The expectation for me is that we defend this title. I don't see him defending it with certain players that are in the squad right now. So you look at Alex Ferguson, whenever he won a title, Pep, when they win a title, what do? They evolve. They go and improve the side, get more players in. You know, look, Slot did it. It hasn't quite worked out for him. But that's what I would do. But, you know, he's going to stick with who he knows. And then it's a kind of case of who he had in the summer. And it's going to be a player that suits his style. But you would think if you win it, that hopefully he will let the shackles off of these guys. But I don't know. I just can't see it. I think he's going to be too frightened to then lose defending his title. And then it might be the same old next season.
I agree. I think even the additions that we got, you can see that he doesn't change for those additions. He hasn't changed to be more direct with Eze and Gyökeres, and both of them came from teams that pay more direct. Crystal Palace are very direct, even when they beat Liverpool this season. Yeah. And Eze thrives off of playing with a team that's more direct. You got more runners. The team's constantly trying to go forward and commit players forward to put the ball in the back of the net. We don't play like that. The same with Gyökeres. So I agree with you. I don't think he will adjust. I think this is the limitation of it's only limited because he wants to play like this, because we've already seen as fans how we can play in the 22-23 season, that we can attack and we can be dangerous. And I think he's completely gone. He's stuck to this. We're going away from that. And look, if we win the league, then I said this to the Man City fan that jumps on sometimes. Big up to Weezy. I tell him all the time, he's always got beef with Pep. And I said, listen, at the end of the day, you may disagree with the manager, and that's fine. But if that manager is constantly winning you trophies, more times than not, he's justified in his decisions.
Yeah. Who are we to say? You know what I mean? He's doing the job that we want, which is to win trophies. Because at the end of the day, we are demanding that he wins trophies. Yeah, we might be classed as, they call us the negative fans and the bottom gooners of that. You know, I'd like to reaffirm that we're not bottom gooners, we're cautious gooners, because we've seen it year in, year out where we've failed to get it over the line. So if he wins us the Premier League, if he wins us the Champions League, then you go again. But you see, the thing is, I was talking with a mate of mine on another chat, and he was saying that, you know, if he went, and I don't know, I'll put this question to you. I'm sorry. If Arteta went to Barcelona, right, I don't think this guy survives there. Yeah. And the other thing is, if they demand him to play the style of the Barca style of football, you know what I mean? You know, ticky-tacky. Will he do it, or will he be stubborn and just sort of say, no, I'm going to play it my way? And if he does play the way he wants to play, then he doesn't last at Barcelona. And as a matter of fact, Barcelona, I mean, I'm not hearing, we're hearing stories that, Barcelona are going to be in for him and all that. I haven't seen anything. Have you seen anything? Because I know you're a big Barca fan, so you would have put your hair to the ground.
Nah, this guy's he's like a ghost, bro. Like, I can't escape him. Nah. We got Hansi Flick. We don't need this guy.
There you go. So, I mean, look, if he wins us it, you go again. It's as simple as that. But all we just expect is this great club, 22 years, coming up to 22 years, and we haven't seen a Premier League title. But people are happy to see us finishing second, best amount of points tally. Had the most points over the Invincibles and that. But the difference was that even though the Invincibles didn't meet that points tally, what did they lift? A trophy. You don't get a trophy for second place unless you do athletics and you get a silver medal. You know, like, if they were athletes, they'd be happy. Yeah, you're gonna have all silver medals, but that's not what it is. We're here to win. I know the Arsenal. I've seen the Arsenal win and win and win and win. That's what I'm used to. And we're sitting here, that's just watching tumbleweed, just going backwards and forth, tumbleweed. Can't be dealing with that, man. It's frustrating. But dare you say, I'll speak against the Lord and Savior, Mikel, mate. You know what I mean? You just can't criticize the guy.
I think this fan base as a whole, bro. I think this fan base, they're scared of success. I think they're scared of success and they're scared of accountability. They're scared of it. They don't like it. They don't like that. They're scared to be winners. And I know it might sound weird, but they don't like what comes with being a winner. It's pressure. Accountability, pressure. You know what I mean? Expectation. They don't like it.
Yeah.
They don't like all that stuff. They want the glory without the achievement.
Yeah. But it's like with anything, right? North, if you're like saying your job, right? And people say, yeah, North, man, the job you're doing, man, I reckon you should be a manager. Like, you know what I mean? You're gonna get more money and whatever. And what it brings is nice, it's tangible. You're thinking, yeah, this is great, blah, blah, blah. But when you get there now, and there's an expectation now because you have a lot of responsibilities. Do you know what I mean? And those responsibilities comes with, you know what I mean? If you do it properly, you get paid. That's what it's all about. You'll get rewarded good. But you know what I mean? We'll put you in a position of responsibility. Yeah, you're gonna face criticism here and there, blah, blah, blah. But you've got to have a thick backbone, you know what I mean? A strong backbone to be dealing with that. And if you can't deal with it, then don't do it. If fans can't take us winning the league and then the aftermath is now that we got defended, that they thinking, now, you know what, I can't go for another season because now we have to be defending this manager to defend the thing. He's going to get scrutinized even more. It comes with the territory. If you don't like it, get out the kitchen. Simple.
He's already got 6 years of his money's worth. I'm sure you'll be all right. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? He's got the most expensive pots and pans. You know what I'm saying?
I never understood it. Like, at the end of the day, nobody has this kind of narrative for things that are way cheaper. Even if people go to McDonald's, you expect your food hot. If it comes cold, you're complaining. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? And it's a McDonald's, but there's an expectation.
But with anything, any brand, McDonald's, listen, if you go to McDonald's, like sometimes you go abroad, right? And the McDonald's that you hear in England is totally different taste. I mean, when I was in America, man, because apparently America is the one for McDonald's. So I was out in America years and years ago. Man is selling Johnny cakes. I'm like, Johnny cakes? Hey, yo, Northside, man is selling fried dumpling in McDonald's. No. Big Mac, quarter pounder, double, yeah, milkshake. That's what I'm used to. You understand? And even the taste, I was like, nah. And I refuse to eat it out there. Just, in the start, I just went to like Frankie Benny's and all them other Rogers. You know what I mean? Places that I've never heard of. Yeah, that it tastes nicer. So you're used to something. The thing about Arsenal, they have a certain DNA. Same with Man United, they have a DNA. And when you move away from that DNA, you're going to constantly be under pressure. That's why they've gone through so many managers since Alex Ferguson. Yeah, we've gone for a certain amount of managers, but this particular manager is saying, "No, man, you're going to eat whatever I give you." Yeah, I mean, that's it. You either like it or you don't like it, and then you've got your millions supporting him and saying, "No, the food is nice," when they really don't know the food is nice. They know really, but they're just kidding themselves. Head in the sand. They're frightened, as you said, Northside. They're frightened about if this manager was to walk away from this club because they've built such a rapport with him rather than the club. If I said Northside, the club is going to go into administration now, you're going to fight tooth and nail with the mass of fans to try and keep that club afloat, innit? Whereas Arteta's not bigger than the club. It's a club that you love. It's its heritage. It's everything that you've seen about this club. You know what I mean? It's built on prestige and all the whatever you want to call it. Arteta is just part of that journey, if you want to call it. And if it doesn't work out, then you move on. But for some reason, this guy's come in 6 years on, still talking about processes, projects, and whatever. And he just seems to be bamboozling his way through. And unfortunately, a lot of people are plugged into the what I call the Arteta matrix until they unplug themselves, they're going to continue to support this guy. He can't do no wrong.
I just think it's all emotions, man. And a lot of people,
It is.
It's they get attached like it's a family member or a girlfriend or a wife or something like that. You know what I mean? And emotions are very powerful, and I think these days football clubs understand that. You know, if somebody is, you know, some people are very emotional towards their friends. They don't want to let go of their friend, even if their friend's bad. Oh, it's my friend. They let certain things slide. You know what I mean? Because that's my friend. Or with their family, might have toxic family. Oh, it's my family. I've been brought up. You know, my family's my family. I can't give up on my family. But you know that family member ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? But you excuse it because it's your family, or if you've got a girlfriend, you've been with her for a long time, you've got your emotions there. And I think that's what this club has done great with this manager. They've made the fan base be emotional towards a manager. We saw it with Wenger. But at least Wenger, the emotion towards Wenger was centered with a successful 10 years. It wasn't like it was from failure. There was actual tangible things that we were attached to that we loved Wenger for. And then when he went away from that with time, at the end of the day, that's what I say with these guys. It's like, when you've seen Wenger leave this club, who the hell is Arteta? Why should I fear Arteta leaving? I've seen us leave Wenger. And even though I wanted Wenger gone, it did hurt seeing Wenger go. Because you didn't want it. I didn't want it to end like that.
Yeah, I think it would have just been nice, especially after the I think it was a whole. And when he won, he came, you know, when he came back from 2 down and won the FA Cup against the Hull. And I thought at that point would have been a nice time to just duck out and say thank you very much. But he decided that he's going to extend his contract. He went for another period and whatever. And then in the end, you know, things just became untenable. You know what I mean? And you know, the club came out with a statement to say that, you know, they decided to part ways. Now we don't know. I mean, did they sack him? Who knows? But it was Wenger leaving the club, and it wasn't like he was sacked. It was just like Wenger's left the club. They parted the ways, and you know, Arsenal like to do things. You know what I mean? So I looked at that and just said to myself, we went through this period where I started to feel sorry for him. Do you know what I mean? You know, I remember he was coming back from a game and he was getting ridiculed. He slipped over. Do you remember he slipped over the train station and the newspapers caught it and everyone's laughing? I was thinking it's like the poor old man. You know what I mean? It's like things ain't going quite right, and I just thought you've got to get out now. And it was becoming very toxic as well. Whereas Mika, I call him Teflon. It's just nothing sticks with this guy. Literally nothing sticks with this guy. Do you know what I'm saying? And he can't lace the boots of Wenger. Do you know what I'm trying to say? He just know when one COVID cup and 3 plates or 2 plates, whatever it is. You know what I mean? And you got people trying to compare this guy with Wenger and George Graham. What we're doing here.
Yeah.
But
I don't know, man.
It's the emotions he's played on. They play on emotions.
Yeah. Now I do think this guy's time's up. I can see it's reaching. He knows he has to win.
Yeah.
The way he's speaking, he knows. He knows everybody that's backed him are looking at him. Even for example, the Nottingham Forest game. Ashok Khawaja, you might have watched that one as well. And I was going through all the reactions from the Nottingham Forest, and that was a draw. And normally they call us negative and toxic for being upset. Oh, but at least we got a draw. At least we got a point. The things that all these top gooners were saying, they know the pressure's on. They know that they can't keep running this with giving more time and no trophies and I've never been so angry. And I was made me laugh because they tell us that we can't criticize the 2-2 against Chelsea. We can't criticize 2-2 against the Sunderland. We shouldn't be criticizing when we drop points. At least we got a point. At least we didn't lose. Yeah. But you see their true colours that at the end of the day, you're going for a league title. There's an expectation. Money's been spent. Time's been given. You can't keep making excuses for something when he's been given everything. And Arteta has been given everything. That's why when they overpraise him, I'm like, he's not doing what I'm seeing Unai Emery doing, that he's third. Yeah. He didn't give money to be in the top 4 like this. He didn't build they haven't given him the money to build a team to be doing what he's doing right now. I'm not saying it's an achievement, but he's doing beyond what we expected him to do this season. As it stands, where he's going to end is whatever. but he shouldn't even be in the conversation. He's level on points with Man City. Aston Villa level on points with Man City.
I mean, the thing is, if he had this, if Unai Emery had this particular side with the money that was given to Arteta, I really do think that Unai would win the league with him. You know, my mate seems to think not, because he's looking back at the 18 months that he had under him. But I remember when Arteta came, he was breaking all unwanted records when he joined the club. Yeah. And we keep being told that, Arteta took us from the dark place, and that they always run that narrative and stuff like that. We was in a dark place even when he was there. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, Unai Emery is a great coach. He's not an elite coach, but he's a very good coach. And I think if he had the money for what he's done since taking over Aston Villa from Gerrard, when they were sitting above the relegation zone, to see the way where they've had PSR and all of that imposed on them, he's done a fantastic job. He's done a fantastic, and in terms of trophies, what he's won, in terms of, Europa League trophies and stuff like that. Now, I know people are going to say, oh, he went to, PSG, and literally it was the PSG players that were controlling him and that. PSG is a tough place to go and manage, unless, because you're dealing with a lot of superstars there and a lot of egos and stuff like that. You don't see that with Aston Villa, and it probably would be the same for Arsenal. We haven't got those kind of players, so he would be able to mold them. And I think if the way I see he plays and his tactics with Aston Villa, I think if he used those same tactics for Arsenal, because we have got a very good squad, we've got good players, barring a couple, yeah. I think he could do bits with us, really. But people are just thinking about the Baku, him going to Baku and losing 4-1 to Chelsea. So that's all they're holding against him. And then maybe when he decided to rest players, instead of going for the Champions League, we lost at home to Crystal Palace. So those are little things that they're holding. But you've got to remember that this guy went on a 22 unbeaten run. One of them remember that. You know what I'm saying? He was bringing players off and changing games. It was like unusual. It was like, what? But I think it's more about the fact that they looked at this guy, he didn't speak good English, and that within, and then they're trying to say that the players were controlling him and whatever. It was out of control and whatnot. But it's happened. He's moved on. Arteta's coming, and he's just coming with the PR process, which we've been sitting on for God knows how many years. So this season he must get us over the line. For me, a Carabao Cup is not enough. With the money that has been spent, you don't invest that kind of money just to win a Carabao Cup. And the top gooners are saying a Carabao Cup is not enough. They're saying an FA Cup is not enough. It's Premier League or Champions League. So let's see what happens, if, he doesn't win a Premier League and a Champions League. I don't want them moving the goalposts or saying it. Let's bring context to this. And it all boils down to the fact that they don't want to lose this guy because they're emotionally attached to him rather than the club. They will always find excuses for him.
No, facts. I hear it. Absolute facts, bro. Kwaja, what are you saying, man? Like, do you think it's time for this manager if we don't win it this season? How do you feel?
He's had all the pieces. He's had the money spent. I mean, top gooners say that this is his last season, and he goes. I mean, I don't have any excuses. I've been hearing about refs robbed us against Nottingham Forest. Apparently, we were robbed. They robbed us 3 points. PGM are well against us. Howard Webb and all this. Oh my God, we were robbed and that. It's a handball and that. We can't give excuses. Listen, refs have been shit all season, mate. We just have to admit, refs are all shit. They're all clowns and that. You got a bald-headed prick in Howard Webb. You can't even do his job properly. You might as well just smash him with a pan on his head. I just don't understand it. You might as well just smash him on the head. But let's be real. He has spent all this money. I don't want any excuses. If you don't want to win, get out.
That's it. That's it.
I wouldn't like to be Kaza, my boss. You know what I mean?
You ain't got the patience with it, man.
I'll be on my shoulder. Like, man's just smashing with the pot, you know.
Oh my days. That is it's true, man. It's true.
I just think, I'm sorry
Go
to cut you. I just think I'm feeling like we're sitting there, it's quite a chilled out conversation. And I think we should be really excited about the season, but we just can't get ourselves here. And it's more caution than anything else. You know, I don't go into a game and if Arsenal win it, I'm upset. And then I come onto your stream and say, Northside, I'm really upset that Arsenal lost today. No, sorry, won today, sorry. I'm really upset that Arsenal won today. I mean, come on. I'm cheering like crazy. Nobody's going to tell me how I can support my club. Yeah, nobody's going to tell me that I can't come to, if we do ever win the Premier League, that I can't go and see a parade and all of that business. Yeah, we win either way. If we win, we've been asking that for the past 6.5 years. If we lose and he doesn't make it, he gets sacked, we win. And it's not about saying, well, I told you so, or we're trying to prove you wrong, I'll hold that and that. It's nothing like that. The thing is, you want to be going into a game. You see, if we could have been 11 points clear, the mood of this stream would have been a little bit more buoyant. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah? You know, you've got a stinking cold there, north side of the, you know what I mean? So I hear that. But, you know, it's that whole thing in the back of your mind is that the next game, you know what I mean? What we're going to see? What is this club? What is Arteta going to offer us? Do you know what I'm going to say? We should be 11 points clear, but we're not.
Exactly. There's nothing wrong with Arteta taking us to a certain point and then us moving on. Now it's an ultimatum, and it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't. But when you have these egotistical managers that haven't done anything, sometimes you've got to force, you know what I mean? It's like if you're in a toxic situation. Sometimes you have to put the ultimatum down and be like, yo, you know what I mean? This is what it is. This is what I'm tolerating. You're not on board. Cool, I'm off. You know what I mean? When you shouldn't have to get to that. And this was what it is. Push come to shove in any situation in life. There's a time where you have to have enough self-respect to put down an ultimatum and say, yes, and I ain't tolerating this. You know what I mean? And it's the same with a football club. And I just think they've hyped us. I just can't get excited with this club because every single time every time in the past when I've got like, okay, maybe this is the year, they've let me down so many times that now I'm like, now it's got to the point where it's like, you prove me wrong. You prove me wrong. Instead of me just believing, prove me wrong. Prove to me that we're top of the Champions League table for a reason. Prove to me that we're 7 points clear and we're actually going to be there come the end of May. Prove me wrong, because every time I've tried to believe, I've got proven wrong, that I shouldn't have believed, that I shouldn't have backed the team, that I shouldn't have put my eggs in the basket and got excited and got carried away, you know? And you get tired as a fan. You get tired of being led down a certain path and then, you know, underwhelming. And people may say it's entitlement. It's not entitlement. 21 years, 22 years now without a major honor. It's not, that's not entitlement. In 22 years, a club like Arsenal, I should be seeing at least 4 or 5 league titles, at least. I'm not asking Arsenal to dominate. I'm not asking Arsenal to win. I'm not even asking us to win back-to-back league titles because we ain't done it. I'm not even asking that. I'm not even demanding the Champions League. All I'm saying is within 20 years, I shouldn't be seeing 0 major honors. I shouldn't. We support one of the biggest clubs in this country. That can't be the standard for me. That can't be. Like, it's okay for Atletico Madrid fans to have a certain level of standards. Barca, Real Madrid, Inter, you know what I mean? Even Napoli these days, like Napoli, Benfica, Sporting, Ajax, PSV. These teams are big within their country. There is an expectation. There's nothing wrong. You're actually honoring the heritage of that football club. It's not like my football club has been in the dumps and only, you know, all due respect. it's not like a Newcastle where they, started to win some trophies. Now they've gone through years and years and years and years in their history of not winning, or Crystal Palace that never won a major honour in their club's history. It's Arsenal Football Club. We've been winning league titles since the 30s. I have the right to feel at least my club do something in England. You know what I mean? Within English football. I don't know. I just don't understand why people are comfortable to disrespect their club's heritage. If your club is big within that country, there's an expectation. And both clubs three clubs now, but Benfica and Arsenal that I support, both of them are big within that country. There's an expectation. I see Benfica holding that expectation. I don't see Arsenal holding that expectation. So I don't know what's going on.
What's going on?
What are you saying, Johnny?
Hey, Gianni. What are you saying, man?
Norski.
You good?
Yeah.
What are you saying, man? You good?
Yeah. Was happy that Arsenal got the victory, but I still thought it wasn't as good as what it should have been, especially because that wasn't Inter's best team. But we'll see. We'll see with what's going on. How you guys doing? North, condolences on your grandfather, man.
Oh, sorry. Yes. I told you. Absolutely condolences, man.
Condolences on your grandfather. Yeah. Lost mine a couple of years ago, so I know somewhat of what you're going through with that. So, because that was my fucking troublemaking partner was my grandfather. So, what'd you guys
big up, man. I appreciate
thought the game was boring. I thought the game was boring once again. It's a shocker what happens when you actually give Gyökeres service, isn't it?
Yeah, feed the Glock and he will score. Do you know what I mean? No, I mean I was saying earlier on. I was saying it was. I called it a professional win. I mean, the first half was good in the sense that first 20 odd minutes or so we took the game to them, played on the front foot, and which was good to see. But it frustrates me because I'm just saying to myself, why can't we replicate that in the Premier League? Why is it that we go into games trying to control games from the offset? And it's that boring football. I think we're going to be the most boring club playing the Premier League, if not Europe. Just the way we play our style of football, the style of football. Somehow it seems to be getting us points. Sometimes lucky points. You know what I mean? Lucky goals. Own goalers and own goalers and all them. You know what I mean? But what I saw in terms of how we moved the ball and the other thing Northside was saying about how we was bypassing the midfield because Moreno had a shocker once again in that midfield. Don't trust him in that midfield whatsoever. Absolutely don't trust him. And he stays on the pitch, and Eze gets dragged. Now look, we know Eze needs to just probably impose himself a little bit more, but I think it's just the style of football, the tactics that Arteta employs doesn't suit Eze's game. He has to do more if he wants to hold down that spot. But to be honest, it doesn't matter how bad Ødegaard plays, he ain't losing his spot. It's as simple as that. He ain't going to lose his spot. So it's unfortunate. And then, you've got Ethan Smith-Rowe now off to Marseille, which I'm kind of glad for. Is he not happening?
No, I'm not happy about it.
Oh, right. Okay. You said he would happen. I was going to say,
No. I'm not happy about it because I think they're gearing up to sell him. I think they're going to sell him if they're doing that. Because here's the thing. Like I was talking to Natster. Napoli and Atletico are both linked with $80 million bids for Mason Greenwood in the offseason. So if Greenwood's on the move for that much money, if he bangs with Marseille, they're going to have enough money to go get him. And we don't know what the PSR situation with Arsenal is because we don't sell players. He may end up being the sacrificial lamb because he's a youth academy kid, that it's a pure profit sale, which is why I don't like the fact that he's getting loaned out. On top of it, we still got to get through the rest of this season, and we don't know who's injured and who's not. What they're doing to this kid is bullshit. Yeah. He should be playing. He should be getting minutes.
Yeah, I mean, Northside did bring that up, that the fact that we'll probably be short there because Max Downham is not going to be back until, say, second, third week in February. And as you said, if another attacking player gets injured, you know what I mean? Because it's just that he's not giving him a chance. Why he doesn't trust him, I don't know. He doesn't trust him when he hasn't got the ball, or he's not his style of player. He helped us out so much last season when Saka was injured, when Ødegaard was injured. You know what I mean? Comes on, scores you goals and stuff like. He's an exciting player, but it's probably the fact that maybe Arteta just doesn't know how to use him, which is a shame, because our football is so system based and so robotic. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't give. You know what I mean? If he does decide that he's gonna, because if he's probably one of the few players that carry the ball, like if they pick up deep and they carry, you very rarely do you get that from a player. Declan Rice will do that. Do you know what I mean? But the thing, I think with Ethan, you know what I mean, he can, you know, he can pick a ball, like he can dip a shoulder, he can drop a shoulder and go. You know, he's easily better than Moreno or Ødegaard, for me personally speaking. But Ødegaard, Moreno, Havertz, they're his man. They're you know, Arteta's
they're all
man.
trash. They're all trash.
They're not good enough. And the worry is that if we somehow scrape our way and win this Premier League this season, where's, you know, you look at Man United, you look at Man City, I was saying earlier on, and all these clubs that win, they evolve, they keep evolving, they keep bringing in new faces into the new bodies into the squad to freshen it up. He's not going to do that. He's going to keep Havertz, he's going to keep Ødegaard, he's going to keep Moreno. And the worry is that come next season, where the pressure will be even more, because now we have to defend our title. Yeah. Yep. And I think he will go even more pragmatic.
Oh, yeah.
You know, some people were saying that once he gets it over the line, now the shackles will be off. I don't see that with Arteta. I don't see it whatsoever. So, you know,
if the shackles were going to come off, the shackles would have came off this year.
Yeah,
because you screwed off 3 other years. If the shackles were coming off the team, it would already happen. First of all, I 100% agree. Moreno had a fucking horrible game against a youngster. Sucic just got added to Inter this year from Croatia. The kid hasn't played in City of Opera.
So he's quite young. Is he about 20? Is he about 20?
He's 20. He's 20. And then the other thing is this, and good job, the Mosquera did a good job on him, but Esposito, another 20-year-old, had he scored that turnaround shot that he had where he just missed, it's a completely different game.
Yeah.
And that's my
thing. They were very wasteful. Inter were very wasteful tonight. Thuram, you know what I mean? Listen, you know, Mosquera was over him like a rash. You know what I mean? Maybe that was, I don't know if that was something that Arteta told him to do, just stick closer to him. Because when he came off and then Gabriel come on, Gabriel was doing the sort of same thing. Do you know what I mean? So I was just worried that he was going to turn him, you know, spin him, you know what I mean? But he sort of didn't do that. But, you know, any other time, if these guys had their shooting boots on, because a lot of the time it was sort of wayward. And the goal, in terms of the mistake, Zubimendi, you don't turn your back. You know, you saw Saliba telling him to close him down. He's like, he's pointing. And he's rather than go and press him and close it down and just put the guy off, he just turn it, and the guys had a free shot. Or Raya could get his hand to it, it's past his hand.
Yeah.
And you know, then you know, a bit of pressure come on, and then what they then do is with Arsenal, what they started to do was to slow the game down a bit. And I wanted to keep the pressure on, just keep the foot on the gas, keep going. They slowed it down for a little bit because obviously they wanted to take control of the game, because it was kind of swinging towards Inter Milan's way, and that they managed to get it back, you know. And then I'll say, second half we were just soaking up pressure because they were always trying to hit us on the transition. I can't remember if it was from when we won the ball back. I don't know if it was from a corner or we won the ball back, where Gabriel Martinelli does that Trivela pass, lovely pass with the outside of his foot.
Yeah, that was the corner. That was the corner that Inter.
I was trying to remember. But you know, the goal was taken well, even though the pass, because obviously Saka was making the run, and I thought, well, he's got the pass to him, but not like, and he did. And he's obviously made the wrong pass. He's hit the back of his heel, and he's got a lucky assist. But it was a well taken goal by Victor. You know, I hope that will kind of help his confidence. You know what I mean? And you could see he was celebrating hard, and until Saka came up in his face, like, you know what I mean? He just ignored him. You know what I mean? Rather than push him away. And so I think there's something going on, because even when there was a point where Saka could have laid the ball off to him, and he decides to take a shot. Right? And I'm thinking, you know what I mean? So something is going on. And we've always sort of said this, that one day he's going to, I think it was Matty was saying that one day he's going to grip somebody up. He's a big lad. He'll grip somebody back and hold up against the wall and say, yo, come on. Yo, you're dealing with the wrong person there. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. But, yeah, I hear what you're saying in terms of the especially the second half. It was just like back to our normal style of football and that. And it's one of those games where you know, they've had a lot of changes, injuries and stuff like that. I know they're doing quite well in their league. They're top of the league.
They're top of the league.
Yeah, and I think they've only lost like 5 games, isn't it?
Yeah. They've gotten hot recently because they had a poor start to the beginning of the season. But you know, the thing with Inter is they didn't have their full team. Dumfries wasn't playing right wing back. Çalhanoğlu's out. You know, they had a number 10. They had a number 10 playing as the number 6 with Zielinski. So, you know, the midfield was a lot weaker than normal because normally that midfield is Çalhanoğlu, Zielinski, and Barella, which would give us a lot more problems. It's still a good win. I'm not taking away from it. It's still a good win. But we can't play the same way that we did like this against Inter against fucking Man U. Not with the way Man U just hit a bounce off of City. Now, hopefully that's a one-off. That's just the one win, and we go and take care of business this weekend. But if we play slow through that middle, I'm scared of that counterattack now that he's playing in Buemo as the main striker, because all that means is he's going to be playing straight counterattack with that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And now they got Ahmad. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
You know, I mean, you remember when we went to Old Trafford, we were lucky to win that game.
Yeah.
We were win that game. Do you know what I mean?
We should have lost that game about 3-4-1.
Because literally they were hitting the flanks. Yeah, and Bremo, Cunha the other side, like, you know what I mean, because he was playing down the middle. So literally, it's just every time the ball went over, especially on our side, on the right hand side or the left back side, we were getting caught out all the time. I was thinking it's only a matter of time before and we get another set piece goal. I think California scored that goal. And then we get out there. You know what I mean? When they had the more chances, they looked like more likely to score, and they started off a lot quicker than we did. So look, we can't afford to play like that. What approach would you take, Gianni? Like, if you're the coach, for one day and play Man United, what sort of approach would you take against Man U, knowing that they've probably got a little bit back of their DNA and just the way they. You saw the way they played. They didn't give Man City any room to breathe. Do you know what I mean? Because you want to play that whole possession thing. These guys are going to come on you. You know what I mean? And it was Jamie Carragher, it was Jamie Carragher, I think, was talking about the way they were coming now. Ødegaard, and because normally Casemiro is like the lone. Because one of the things for last season was that Casemiro was the lone six. Always getting caught out. There was just always this big space in the middle. Whereas now they came narrow. Once they won the ball back, they're like bang. Yep. You know what I mean? And they, Man City were playing this high line. I mean, listen, they had the ball in the back of the net. What was it, 5 times in total? And I could have won that by more. Do you know what I mean? Man City just didn't look like the races. And then again tonight against Bodo Glimt, you know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff that's going on in the background. Stuff I'm just looking at the TV now. Arctic flunkies. That's the back page of the Mirror, and it's just a lot of things going on with Man City. Look, at the end of the day, I'm not going to take them for granted. We've got a job to do in terms of maintaining that 7-point lead, or hopefully we see them drop points. I can't see them dropping points against Wolves. If they did, then and we go on and win, then I would say right. I'm going to start to believe. But at the moment, 7 points.
I'd be a believer at the end of January, to be honest with you. I'd be a believer at the end of January, depending on City. Yeah. Because if we stink our way to where we keep increasing the lead, the league's ours. I mean, I said it on Aaron's call-in show. If Gyökeres starts scoring every game and we start force-feeding him and he starts scoring, we walk the league. We walk this league if he starts scoring regularly. Yeah. Like, whether we like it or not, the thing we do have to give Arteta is the defense is impeccable. The defense, it is what it is. Now, is Zubamendi the mistake? Yes. He has plenty of mistakes in him to where that could be the problem as far as our defensive game. But if Gyökeres is scoring like this throughout the whole season, we walk the league. We walk the league all the way down. For me in the game against United, I'm matching them. First of all, Eze starting. Ødegaard does not start this game. Eze starting is a number 10. I don't want to see this 4-3-3. I want to see a 4-2-3-1. I want Eze to take the initiative and be allowed to have link-up play with Gyökeres. That's what a number 10 with a striker is supposed to have. Not waiting for a random ball to come off the wing to maybe find the striker and he's doing all the passing. I don't want to see that shit. And United's defense is not that good. We should be putting them to the sword with Gyökeres and force-feeding the ball into the box. Maguire's not that good. None of them are that good. The only thing that I'd be interested in entertaining is giving both Martinelli and Trossard a break and letting Gabby Jesus start on the left wing, because I think his work rate and stuff is better for a winger than it is a striker. I know he got his 2 goals today, but I was not happy, to be honest with you, to see him starting as the striker. If you were going to rest Gyökeres, I would have rather have seen Trossard as the striker because he's our next best finisher behind Jok. And I would have liked to seen him play as the 9 because for me, I think Jesus might be our best left winger, and you could have Trossard go back to the bench and just have him be that impact player in scoring goals. Maybe I'm wrong because he has been our best offensive player, but I think that's also the damning thing about this whole slow ball anyways, is that he's been the highest goal scorer. So either way, whether it's Jesus or Trossard on the left, I want to see us match that same formation at 4-2-3-1 and just go gung-ho. Do not let them breathe. If we're going to go crazy the first 25 minutes, I want to see at least 2-3 goals up in the 25 minutes, and then you can go to that slow possession-based bullshit if you have to. But I
like what you're saying about
breathing. I do not want United to breathe.
Yeah, no, I absolutely like that. I mean, what I do find is that when we go up against teams that have one player more in the midfield, we tend to struggle. And, we don't. You see, when Arteta comes out with this whole thing, when he's in his press conference and he says, "Oh, we dominated the game." No, we didn't, because you see with your eyes. You see that you're losing the midfield battle because they've always got one more. Any team that, even Wolves, right? Team Wolves, where they scored all 3 of our goals. I mean, the problem is that when we keep going with the same 4-3-3, it means that he's going to always go with the 3 fridges, or he's going to go with it's going to be Ødegaard, Zubamendi, and Rice. Right? Rice is doing the job of 2 of them, because Zubamendi, when he's got the ball and he's got time, he's great. Well, he's out of when he hasn't got the ball and he gets pressed too easy. Ødegaard just runs around and he's just a pretender to me. He just literally runs. You're watching him, you're thinking, just put your foot in, you're a captain. But because there's a World Cup looming over the horizon, he doesn't want to get hurt. You can see that. You can see it in his play. This guy won't commit to tackles. Do you know what I mean? He slows it down, pass back. The guy's picking up the ball in the central defense. So when you've got Saliba one side and Gabriel, and he's picking up the ball from Raya. So how do you expect to affect play further up the field?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? And then they keep saying, listen, I get it. Klopp needs to improve that side of football. But as you rightly said, if you continue to feed him, just football is a simple game. It's not a complicated game. Play like through passes. I don't know if it was tonight. Was it Saka? Could have played a through pass. He decided to take a shot. I'm thinking, what?
Yeah.
Why can't you just play? I know it must be programmed in his head because he just keeps repeating doing the same thing again. So when he's meant to just, because I'm thinking these guys are. I mean, look, you're paid 300 grand a week. Why can't you see it? That's why I rate people like Fabregas, like people like Ozil, because they see the big picture. They see what's going on, and they can slow things down. But these current crop of players, these modern day players, you've got people talking about the players now are better than the players back then. Yeah, you know where I'm going with this, so I won't say anymore. But you know where I'm going with it. I mean, they're talking about nostalgia. that we always take nostalgia over these current. Listen, the players of the 90s and the mid 2000s will wipe the floor with all of these good players. Yeah. How many good strikers? How many good strikers can you count? I don't think I can count 10. Like in the Premier League that I just think are outstanding. Back then, you had good strikers in every squad. Even the ones that were at the bottom, you still feared them. The strikers today, listen, our top striker is on 5. Joint.
Yeah.
You say it's down to the system, but at the end of the day, we could go a second season where all of our attacking players have gone into double figures. Who's that on? It's got to be the system. It's no coincidence that you're playing the system like Arteta. Then it's gonna affect the outcome in terms of how your players are playing.
How many when the pass that Madueke put in the box against Liverpool, why isn't that pass being done for Gyökeres? When he put it in, the only guy that was in the box was Martinelli, and he was just getting into the box as the ball passed him. The same thing when Saka put the ball in the box against Brighton. I don't know if that was a league game or a League Cup game at the last minute when Martinelli skied it. You put those balls in the box, Gyökeres is blowing a hole in the back of the net. With the goal that he just scored now, with a little easy ball that just landed right to him. Yeah, it didn't match.
That's what he does.
That's what he's supposed to do. If you're doing that, if you're force feeding him in the box where he's right around the penalty marker getting the shot off, this isn't a conversation. That's why I said we walk the league. If you give 6 or 7 of those passes a game, just in the first half, in the first 45 minutes, you get 7 crosses like that, Gyökeres is putting one of them in the back of the net. And if he doesn't, it's even more showing that it's the system because he's constantly out of position when it comes to the offensive phase. I've never seen a striker who's supposed to get the ball and then stay at the number 6 position rather than go hold the ball up, lay it off to the number 10 of the wingers, turn around and go and get his ass in the box. This is the only team that's trying to revolutionize the sport that we watch.
Crazy. It's crazy. And the thing is, a couple of people now have called it out on Sky because a lot of the finger pointing was at Glock in terms of his movement and not when he's got you'll bring up the stat, he's got the least amount of touches. So focus is on him. Now, Daniel Sturridge was one of the first guys that spoke about it and will say that the way Arsenal play in terms of their system, they don't play with a natural number 9. Their first thought is that if the wingers pick up the ball, the inverted wingers, remember these guys are coming in on their strong foot. Yeah, their thing is not to cross their first point is not to get the ball to Glock. They're not going to go right. I'm going to get the ball to the striker. No, what they do is they get the ball, they'll cut it back, either play it back to the person that has played it to, and then they recycle it. And then if they do get a cross in, it's not a cross that you're just thinking, oh, they're finding in there. It's just like a lofted cross in the button, and you just hope for the best. How about the ball on the ground rather than just because when it's up in the end, you've got big defenders, they're going to defend that all day long. Nottingham Forest did the same thing. And then Jamie Redknapp made the point again about the way Arsenal play is that if he said all you simply have to do for Glock to have any kind of service, just swap the sides, put Saka where he crosses with his left foot, and put Martinelli who crosses with his right foot, and see how things change. It's not rocket science.
And keep the ball on the ground.
He's doing everything inverted and everything. He complicates things and that. And for him, it's about recycling the ball, not losing it, playing the safe pass. Sometimes we have to take that chance and risk, versus risk, and we have to go out there and say, right, let's do it. It's not going to always come off. But like you said, if say you play, I don't know, out of those 6 passes and 2 of them get to Gyökeres and he puts it in the back of the net, it's those 2 goals going to make a difference because it's hard enough trying to score in the Premier League. Because when you have chances, like Martinelli chance that he missed against Nottingham Forest, he's hitting it with his left foot. It's an gaping open goal, and he's hitting with a knuckle the back of his left foot. why it's come to you. Why don't you just play it with your right foot? You just have to just pass it into the net and that's it. 1-0 up. But this is the way we play, and this is the way Arteta wants them to play, and he won't switch up. I mean, I like the fact that you're saying about we should change up our system rather than going with a 4-3-3. Go with a 4-2-3-1 or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. This 4-3-3 is outdated, man. The 4-3-3 that we play is outdated. Again,
the way we play, the
way we played, it's outdated. Ødegaard, listen, for everything that we've talked about with Ødegaard, he's been shit for the last 18 months. Prior to the last 18 months, when the handbrake wasn't on and he was able to go and actually play the 10 position, he was a good player. Let's the guy what? 23 goals in 2 seasons? 23, 25 goals in 2 seasons, and same thing over 20 assists. Let's be honest here. When he was able to go forward and he was able to have link up with the wingers and the striker, he looked a much better player. Why? If that worked, why are we going away from it? Why are we going away from anything positive that we've seen going forward? The Italian announcer said Arsenal makes it look like everything has to be perfect and they have to just pass right by they have to try to dribble the goalie to put the ball in. He goes, they're doing too much. This is the announcer for Inter. He goes, they're doing way too much. He goes, if they simplified their passes and went much more direct, this team could be scoring 4 or 5 goals a game. That's what the Inter announcer was saying.
We're not direct enough.
Yeah,
we're not direct enough.
It's too sideways. It's like, man, that shit doesn't always work that way.
Yeah. No,
it's caution, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's cool, and it's at the detriment.
There's different ways to go about with caution, though. Like if you go back, watch Man City under Roberto Mancini. Man City under Roberto Mancini, he played a back line of 3 in possession and pushed the fullback up. So it was secure either way. You can be cautious and still be proactive to go and take the game by the horns and still go forward to go and win. Not when it's the whole team has to be pragmatic. There's a time and place for all that. When you're sitting back and your striker to last man, your last defender are 18 meters separate from each other because you're getting penned in because the other team is that much better than you. That's one thing. But you can't be doing that in possession, especially not when you've spent $1 billion. Again, this team on paper, this team should be destroying teams 2-3-0 every game. Every game should be beating teams 2-3-0. The only teams that we don't do that to are the likes of, on paper, a Liverpool, a Man City, and then the best teams that throughout Europe. But the rest of England, we should be slapping the fuck out of every team in the league, not making it this difficult.
I agree. But this manager, bro, this manager, I just feel like there's a ceiling to the way that we play. I think it's fine up to a point. And I think that's why he comes unstuck when it's a do or die game where you have to win. All of a sudden, your players don't play do or die. Let's be real. The real star boy at this football club is the set piece coach. That's our biggest. That's the star boy. The star boy didn't turn up today, and I'm just being honest about it. Like, how many times am I seeing star boy save us? We went from completely relying to this guy to now constantly relying on set pieces, and that's really it. That's our identity as a squad. That's our identity as a team. It's set pieces. And I know, listen, we scored 1 set piece goal, 2 from open play, but a lot of the times when the set piece goes dry, we start dropping points. We don't really lose that many games, but we drop points, and it's when the set piece isn't effective, because most of the time that's our go-to. And the manager's so pragmatic that when he wants these players in these cup games to all of a sudden be game changers, that's not what you've coached this team to be. You haven't coached this team to have game changers. You're supposed to have Gyökeres as a game changer. And look how long it's taken to get a tune out of him. So he doesn't want individuals to be game changers. He wants everything to be very controlled, very pragmatic, will be effective on set pieces, And set pieces is really what's saved this guy. Let's be real. There's been a lot of games. If it wasn't for set pieces, we wouldn't be in the position that we're in right now.
This is all in this. I think it's the 19th set piece now that has scored in all comps. It's a lot, bro. 19. Jeez.
If we weren't scoring set pieces, we wouldn't even be in the top 4 this race. If we're being honest, we wouldn't even be in the first 4 if we weren't. If it wasn't for the amount of set piece goals.
Yeah,
so it's too much. It's too much nonsense. Too much nonsense.
It is what it is, and that's the thing. We've seen the ceiling with this kind of approach from this manager, and that's why until you prove us different, we're gonna keep our feet on the ground and see. Everything's falling in line for us. Let's be real. We're able to rotate in the next game. This game, we didn't have to play a fully fit team. We're going up against a Man United side that was supposed to be beaten, even though they got did well against Man City. Was supposed to. I don't want to see this fan base using, but they beat Man City as an excuse. I don't want to hear any of that. At the end of the day, we need to take advantage. There's been twice we haven't taken advantage. The Liverpool game, the Nottingham Forest game. Those are the things. This manager loves to talk about fine margins. Well, those are the margins you're supposed to be able to improve us by the investment that we spent in the summer. So a lot of people used to say every time we win games, we beat Newcastle this season. Last season we wouldn't win it. Okay, cool. Well, last season we didn't have Gyökeres and Eze, so get them cooking because they were supposed to be the difference makers and they were supposed to be the signings that gave it a 10 out of 10 window by some people. So it's down to the manager to get them cooking and make them the difference that we didn't have last season. And we just need to keep going forward. We're very, very lucky. Let's be honest, we're very lucky that no one's taking it that serious. Man City at the moment are not moving serious. Everybody else, like this fan base said, they're not even in the conversation. So everything is there for us to win it. Can we win it? Yes, we can win it. Will we? It all depends about our mentality. Are we going to continue to have Man City and Aston Villa within touching distance? Some fans will talk about Villa lost to Everton. Yeah, but did we capitalize on that? We didn't capitalize on that. So we can all, look at the rivals and say, well, they're not doing this, they're not doing that. Well, we're not killing off this title race. Exactly. We could have killed the title race off weeks ago. So the fan base love to pick holes in the rivals. At the end of the day, we need to focus on ourselves because the rivals, Aston Villa, nobody with the money spent, nobody expected them to be within this title race. Man City, everybody's saying, they're not serious, not the same Man City of old. At the end of the day, Unai Emery is doing beyond what people expect him to do with this squad at this current moment. I can't remember the last time I said Arteta is doing beyond what I expect him to do at Arsenal. There's the difference. Pep, at the end of the day, his tenure is solidified at Man City, even if he doesn't win it. At the end of the day, is his job really on the line? I don't know. I'm not a Man City fan, but at the end of the day, even if it is, he's been a success in the Prem. Arteta, you're the one that everyone's looking at thinking, okay, well, Arsenal October champions, Arsenal the ones that expected. Your tenure here is one FA Cup. That ain't good enough. That ain't good enough. You ain't gonna you ain't leaving no legacy here. Unai Emery, Villa gonna keep him. He's not, even if he gets Europa League, they'll keep him. They'll keep him because he's breaking that team into now finishing within the top 5, top 6. They'll keep him. They'll keep him and probably support him more. I'm seeing that.
Mateta. If Mateta goes to Villa, that's a fucking problem.
This is what I mean. They're looking serious. They're looking at it. What are we doing in Jan? If we're really serious, we go out there and say, listen, City ain't looking serious. Arteta, look, we did big business in the summer. Cool, we give you one big signing. Who do you want? Because we really want this league title. And the funds are there. Let's go out there. What do you need? Do you need another midfielder? Okay, cool. We've seen today, if Rice goes down, we're down to Ødegaard. I'm not feeling confident if we're down to Ødegaard. The left-hand side is there for the taking. Let's be real. We get a competent left winger. We go get a Lookman. He walks into the team. There's no favourites on that left-hand side. So that
we
position
still need a left back as well. We still need a left back.
Yep. Miles Lewis Skelly ain't no left back.
We need another centre mid as well. Don't forget, we need another centre mid because Mika Muno ain't good enough as the centre mid. We have Lewis Skelly can play there, but we need another centre mid. If we get another centre mid, that would be good.
Listen, if we were a serious club, Ødegaard and Havertz would get sold at half price right now and get out of the fucking team at this point of the season, and you go and reload.
There you go.
Because you get those 2 monster contracts off. And to be honest with you, even if he did score 2 goals, if you were serious, you would get rid of Jesus, you get rid of Ødegaard, and you get rid of Havertz all right now. You push Miles Lewis Skelly into the midfield position where he's supposed to be. You keep Ethan Nwaneri because I'm steaming over him going on loan because we all know that this is the time frame when injuries pile up. We may need him to stay around for the midfield because now what's going to end up happening? Because Hincapie, I don't know how much longer Hincapie is out with an injury. I don't want to see Jurrien Timber as a left back ever again, if I'm being quite honest with you. He's the best right back. He's the best defensive right back in the world. Why are we moving the guy who is the best? He's a defender, and he's the best at his position defensively. Why are we moving him out of position for you to do this stupid shit again? You know, it's the same old shit. It's the same shit that stopped us from winning for 3 years, and that's why everybody is hesitant for us to say that we're flat out going to go out and win the league because we've seen it before. We led a league for 93% of a season and blew it. We're not even close to 93% of the season over. So that's why everybody is hesitant. The only reason why I say I would believe it January is because City doesn't look like they're going to take the initiative. City just doesn't look like they're going to take the initiative. And if they're not, then that should be the scot-free to walk the league down. But again, we're just finding more shit to cause our own problems rather than figuring it out and just make the league should be over with by now. If we're being
they're signing players though, they got Guehi and Semenyo. Even they are like we're still strength. And they
I hear you with that, but that's why I'm saying if we were a serious club, Havertz, Ødegaard, and Jesus should all be shipped out. Even if you only make 30 million on those 3 players. The fact that you get those 3 monster contracts off the books gets you enough money for you to be able to go and sign 2 guys for you to be like, okay, these are the last 2 additions we need. Fuck it. We're going on and winning the league. We're going to win the league like Liverpool. We're winning the league by 10, 15 points. You know what I mean? If we were serious, that's the way that we should be moving right now. Those 3 guys should not be here. Look how much faster the offense looked with Ødegaard not fucking playing. And again, the damnedest thing is, because I know a lot of people don't watch City A, that wasn't Inter's best midfield. So the fact that Marino should be another person. I'm sorry, Marino should be shipped out of this club as well.
For me, he was the worst player. For me, he was the worst player.
And you got done in by a 20-year-old. You got done in by a 20-year-old who just came from Dinamo Zagreb. And then again, Zielinski's been a number 10. The whole time he played for Napoli, he was a number 10. At worst was a number 8. They had him as a number 6. How do you have a number 10 playing the 6th position and you still looked at shit? And the even worse part is Barella, the only world-class midfielder that was on the field that was starting the game. Barella didn't even have a good game. So what happens if you flip it and it's the actual full-strength Inter and you got Çalhanoğlu, Zielinski, and Barella? Our midfield it's a complete 180 of a game. I mean, hell, it's Lautaro Martinez and Thuram aren't that great. The young kid Esposito comes in. If he hits that turnaround shot on Raya, it's a whole different game because all the momentum goes into.
I mean, Lautaro just looked finished, man. Thuram, I'll tell you I'm glad we didn't go and pursue that because, bro, he was terrible. Both of them. When that striker come on, right? Yeah, he was also problems.
The 2 young kids they brought on, Boni and Esposito, looked way better than Lautaro and them. And again, you get them 2 young kids running at you, and now the momentum's changed. That could be a whole different result at the end of the day. That's the reason why you got to be a little fearful. Because like Northside, I didn't even want to see Rice play. I didn't even want to see him get substituted in. There's no reason for this. There's no reason for none of this shit. We still have, what is it? We still got 5-6 games left in this month. Before the end of the month, we still got 5 games left now at this point. You got 5 games left, with one of them being the other semifinal for the League Cup, if I'm not mistaken. We fucked up in that because that should already be done and dusted. We should have never let Chelsea back in to the tie. And you're still bringing these guys in for no reason. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's like the manager is trying to find ways to fuck up.
No, I hear it, man. I hear it. But big up Gianni, big up Norski, big up Kwaja, man. Big up to everyone locked in.
Big up, man.
Big up to everyone locked in. We will be back tomorrow with 3 streams. Big up to everyone locked in. We're going to redirect to Lee with his emergency stream. He's fucking so negative. Another emergency stream.
It's the way you looked up. Like,
bro, I'm telling you, bro, the way it rattles them, man, they absolutely hate it. You know what I mean? Hopefully continue. You know what I'm saying? So he's got another emergency stream. He can't be happy. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So everyone just spam in the chat, Northside raid, just be happy. You know what I mean? We got the win, just be happy. Stop fucking moaning. You know what I'm saying? And big up Normski, man. Big up Normski.
No, every time, man. Yeah, it's just nice to come on. I've been on for a little while.
Make sure you're subscribing. Normski TV, Gianni Talks, Couch Hill TV as well. You know what I mean? And big up to Kwaja every single time. And we'll be back tomorrow, man. Love.
Take care, people. Bless.